Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Plug and Play Podcast, the gaming podcast where we talk about the gaming industry and the news in general. My name is Alexis, of course, and we are shorthanded today, unfortunately. Cameron had some stuff to do on the side, but it's fine. So we're two-man dueling it right now with me and Henry. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey everybody, sad day. But we have the two best members of the Plug and Play podcast here with us today. So we're gonna keep the train rolling on.
Yeah. So there wasn't really that much news in these past couple weeks, but there was a direct that happened a week and a couple days ago. So there's a lot of stuff in there that we're gonna talk about, but. Before we get into that, we're gonna get into like some smaller news before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Let's get started with this first one. When there was this whole thing with like Summer Games Fest, this was leaked or something with Geoff Keighley of the prices of getting their game shown at a Summer Games Fest. And there's different tiers. So on the lowest tier, it costs $250,000 for 1 minute. And then the highest is $550,000 for 2.5 minutes. This caused a lot of like people getting mad at Geoff Keighley and stuff. Is like why are you charging this much for trailers when there's like studios that need that money to like pay their employees or to help fund their like games and stuff. And then we're not sure if this is accurate because Geoff Keighley came out and then he was saying that. There's also some free slots that are given to like indie studios, so like they can show their game for free at Summer Games Fest. And then like with all this, there's like this whole thing, and maybe it changed because like with the Game Awards, because the Game Awards is more huge, so probably more expensive over there, I think, compared to Summer Games Fest where it's less people watching. But these prices, it's a lot of money. So I wonder how much Geoff Keighley is pocketing this much money. And how much he is putting into like the studio and like renting out like the audience and the event space for Summer Games Fest as well as the Game Awards. Because then you also have for like this, like you also have like when you think about it, like Kojima, right? Like remember Kojima at the Game Awards? He spent like 10 minutes like talking about his game, but not showing anything of it. So he's just talking on stage. He was bringing like celebrities in. It's like 10 minutes. Like I wonder how much that cost, or was it free for him because Geoff Keighley knows him? And there's like this whole thing with that. And then when you think about it, like it doesn't make sense because, it does make sense, but like I get confused. Like when we were talking about this last episode of the companies that they just put in a trailer for like their game, and it doesn't appeal to people, or it looks very bad. It's like, why are you paying this much money to like not make the game look good? And I remember
Sure.
like that last trailer from the Summer Games Fest, there was this one trailer with like there was a CGI trailer, like an animated trailer of like airplanes and like air combat. It looks sick, like an anime trailer or whatever. It's like it looked awesome, and the gameplay shows up and it's an RTS and it's like very slow and boring to me personally, and I saw a lot of people getting mad at that, and then people were like, did they pay that much money just to like show up and show that? So it was like this whole thing with like the prices and everybody getting mad at Geoff Keighley, and now Geoff Keighley is like a villain now. So like people were like just talking shit to him all the time.
Yeah, there's definitely been a shift. Yeah, in the attitude towards Geoff Keighley. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and it's like this,
which is weird.
Yeah, because I think Geoff Keighley was neutral. I think. Or like people were fond of him. Maybe I think they're more neutral than fond of him, and now like he's a villain.
Yeah. I think people have. I think Geoff Keighley's in an interesting position because he's always kind of. I'm not gonna say he's had ebbs and flows, but like I mean if you remember like a long time ago he was like the Dorito Pope.
Oh yeah.
If you remember that meme, yeah. So like if you're not familiar with anybody listening, like Geoff Keighley, he did some interviews at one point, and like it was heavily sponsored by Doritos and Mountain Dew because every gamer thing has to be for some reason, and so like he was just doing a to the camera interview, and there was just a bottle of Mountain Dew and like a bowl of Doritos or something like directly in front of him the entire interview, and it was like just awkward and weird, and it was clearly him like doing it for money and selling out, and so like he was kind of pointed at as like a sellout at that point, and then like beyond that, you know, like he was the guy who was making the Game Awards and Summer Games Fest and stuff like that, and you know, he was kind of combating, you know, E3, or, you know, trying to set up an identity for awards, kind of like the Oscars for games, and he was really the only person who was trying to do that in a notable fashion, or at least a mainstream fashion. And I think a lot of people appreciated that and saw him as very genuine. And now Geoff has no competition anymore. So, like, this is really the only event outside of direct from publishers, like advertisements and stuff like that, like Nintendo Directs, like we'll be talking about in a minute, that like you can really show off a game with a lot of eyes, since E3 is dead now. And so like, while Geoff Keighley tries to come off as this altruistic like video game liaison for everyone, he's trying to make the video games great, and isn't he just a wonderful Canadian guy? I think the obvious answer to that is, well, he's trying to make money. And clearly these prices for what we're seeing for the ads kind of prove that. You know, $550,000 for 2.5 minutes. Now, admittedly, most ads aren't that long, but still, $250,000 for 1 minute. I mean, I think a lot of people took umbrage with that, because a lot of the Game Awards, a lot of Summer Games Fest seems to drag, and it seems to be way too long. I mean, like, Summer Games Fest and the Game Awards typically last about 3 hours or something along those lines. It's tremendous amount of time. It's very, very long, and about a third of that is frickin' ads. You know, I may be even being generous by saying that. And so, like, that's, you know, a third of an hour, or a third of 3 hours is an hour of ads. I mean, he's making millions of dollars selling ads for this particular showcase, you know, at a minimum. So it just shines a light that this is not Geoff Keighley doing this because he is, you know, this wonderful guy. He's doing it for money, and, you know, the fact that E3 is gone really doesn't benefit us. It benefits Geoff Keighley, and, you know, it's hard for me to say, like, he shouldn't do this. Like, you know, it was always a business. We always knew that. But it just shows a light on the grubby side of it, I think. And again, I think I should clarify, we do know that these prices are real. Like, that is legit. He just tried to come back and say, well, we give free slots to smaller indie titles who can't afford that budget, which is very kind of him to do, and it's, you know, it's a good PR move for sure. But I don't think he's kind of tagging on to what you were saying, Alexis. I don't think he's charging Hideo Kojima to show up. I don't think,
like, no.
Yeah, no shot.
He's paying
I don't think
Hideo Kojima to come on stage.
I mean, he honestly, it's a total possibility. I can see that being, you know, like an actual thing, that he may actually have paid some bigger publishers to show up, especially early on in the Game Awards or Summer Games Fest, because, you know, he needed eyes on the showcase. He needed people to know that this is a place where big announcements are going to happen, and he charges this high of a price because he can guarantee thousands of people are going to see this. Thousands of people are going to talk about this. I mean, we've talked about Summer Games Fest on our podcast. I know hundreds of other podcasts probably talked about Summer Games Fest, and hundreds of thousands of people watched it live. Millions of people watched it after the fact. I mean, like, he has grown a brand and grown eyes on ads that is super valuable for people. But I think something like when I believe he announced Elden Ring. I think it was at either Summer Games Fest or the Game Awards. Like, Geoff Keighley announced Elden Ring.
Summer Games
like,
Fest,
you know, yeah, Summer Games Fest. So, like, I don't think Geoff Keighley made From Software pay money to announce Elden Ring. You know, like, I don't think that happened. I think they said, we need a place where we can show off a lot of our thing to a lot of people, and Geoff Keighley probably made him a good offer, and, you know, like, if anything at all, and, you know, like, they were like, cool, we get a lot of eyes on our thing, that's what we want. And Geoff Keighley wanted a big thing to show off that made people think his showcase was cool and brought more people to watch. So like everybody kind of won there, but I think, where everybody loses is where he's, shoving so many ads in his showcases. I think that's the big loss here. So that's my overall take.
Yeah, and with like Geoff Keighley, I think he is a gamer. Like I think he is passionate about like the industry and stuff.
Oh, no doubt. I believe that
Yeah,
too.
and then
I think so as well.
and then I think what tipped it over the edge, honestly, was the Kingdom Hearts community, because people were like, when Kingdom Hearts like they're announcing for like Steam or whatever, the dates lined up with like Summer Games Fest or whatever, and then people were connecting the dots like, oh, maybe they announced it for Steam and then they're getting people hyped so they can watch Summer Games Fest and then they'll show Kingdom Hearts 4, and then there was like this huge amount of people just going after Geoff Keighley like Kingdom Hearts 4, Kingdom Hearts 4, and then there's like these people like, and then you have Geoff Keighley trolling back and stuff like, he was posting gifs and shit like on Kingdom Hearts like tweets and stuff and shit. So like he was also playing into it. So I guess like people are just like they just hate that about him, and the people got mad at that because they wanted Kingdom Hearts 4. Like they want to see that game already. And
Don't poke the sleeping Kingdom Hearts
so
fans, man. We've
they're
learned.
going after him, and then
They're crazy.
there was also talking about Kingdom Hearts like quickly. There was like that one leak that it was going to come out in 2026 by that one leaker that it got exposed, and now people are saying that that's probably wasn't true. So like it's probably not coming in 2026 maybe. People are like they're hoping it comes out next year, like in 2025, which lines up I think. So like
I wouldn't be surprised if it gets pushed to 2026 or pushed. It hasn't been announced,
so far,
but it's so far, yeah. But I think Square Enix puts a lot of money and time into a lot of their projects, especially one this big with Disney behind it. They're not going to push out something quick. And it looked like from what we've seen from that teaser, one, the game was probably very early on because we haven't seen anything since. And two, is it looked like a pretty in-depth, complicated, visually impressive game, which is just going to take more time to make. Mm-hmm. So I think 2026 is not like impossible for sure. I think 2025 maybe, but I think 2026 that's probably what I would put my money on.
Yeah, I'm thinking like with Square Enix, like we'll get into it later on when we talk about the direct and stuff. Like they have a lot of games coming out. Like a lot of huge games coming out like these next few years. And yeah, so we'll talk about that more later. So that was the thing with Geoff Keighley and everything and how he's turning into a villain now. And maybe he has time to redeem himself at the Game Awards with maybe Kingdom Hearts 4, maybe? I think so. I think that would be crazy if he shows up at the Game Awards, just like a small teaser, maybe. So
we'll see.
All right, this next one, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, which just dropped last week or so.
Yeah.
A lot of people are playing this. Like it's already reached 5 million sales. So yeah, that's a lot. And people are just very hyped to it. But on Steam, there's a mixed reception of it because due to like performance issues, I haven't seen anything about performance, but I do know there are difficulty issues. So people are having trouble with some of the bosses and stuff and like how difficult some of the content is in this DLC. And this DLC is huge. Like it's $40.
Very big.
It's $40. So like you get so it's not a full price game, but like it is a hefty price DLC. But you do get what you pay for because the map. I heard the map is like there's like verticality, so there's like it's sort of like what is it called, Tears of the Kingdom, where like you have an upper level and then you have also a lower level, so there's like two different like areas to explore.
Geez.
So like
yeah,
this DLC is huge, and I haven't been playing it, or I haven't seen any gameplay of it actually. The only thing I saw were like some trailers and stuff. And like I'm excited to like jump into this, but there's mixed reviews because there's difficult problems with like the bosses and stuff. And I read like some of the bosses are just like two-shotting players with like good ass builds. And there's like a lot of people now. The reviews are back to like very positive now because I think the more you play, you get these. So there's this one thing I know is like in the DLC, there's like this one item, so like increase certain stats, and it's only in the DLC they can use it. So like
Correct.
yeah, and then you can raise different stats. So I don't know which stats you raise. I just know there's like an item that helps you like progress through the DLC because it's very difficult, and we're seeing a lot of people like getting mad at this and stuff like that. And I read that the FromSoft DLC is generally difficult. I don't know.
It is, yeah.
Okay,
it
so
is.
like it kind of makes sense with this, where like the DLC is way harder than the base game, and I guess I'm excited to jump into this when I do get into it one of these days, because I'm blind to it. So it's like it's gonna be like a whole new game basically, because it's an expansion. So $40, it's not cheap, but it's like you're gonna pay for quality with this. And now people are saying this should be game of the year. I'm like, nah. It's a DLC that you have.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, because you have to.
I don't believe in that either.
So I fucking hate that argument, because like in this game, for Elden Ring, you have to get to like a certain point in the main game, and it's like very late, I think, because it's like one of the late.
Not only is it very late, it is an optional
Oh,
boss.
it's optional. Okay.
It's optional.
I did it like.
which is so weird.
Yeah, I did it like naturally. So like I was there and just strolling around and stuff. So. It just happened during my playthrough, so I didn't know it was optional. Okay, I thought it was part of the story, so that makes sense with this. So like this whole thing. Are you gonna play this? Oh, wait, did you play Elden Ring? I keep forgetting. I don't know why.
Yeah. We've talked about it. I've played it and I platinumed it.
It was Cam that didn't play it, I think.
He didn't finish it.
Finish it. Okay.
He got like 2/3 of the way or 3/4 of the way through the game and dropped
Oh,
it.
that's good, because the end game is kind of like it falls off a bit, but yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I didn't have too much of a problem with the end game, which is, that was actually the first time I heard somebody complain about it was Cam. But he says he's heard a lot of people complain about that, which, I don't, maybe so. It's just not in my circles, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But this DLC is something that really caught my eye, specifically as a talking point. I don't intend on playing it, especially now, because even though Elden Ring was probably my number 2 game of that year, and I really it's probably the first From Software game that I like truly loved. I don't like difficult things, and the DLC, like you said, from software games is notoriously difficult. It's more difficult than the base game, and I don't intend on putting myself through that. Not only that, but I find it really difficult to go back to games after I have already beaten them, especially if it is a long time afterwards. So like I talked about doing the Horizon DLC not long ago, and Horizon Forbidden West, and it was at least an hour of just like struggling, trying to remember the controls, and that's so frustrating to me, and it feels like a wasted hour of fun that I could be having with another game. And like From Software, that's even going to be probably worse. Like those games are not like other games in which you can kind of figure out the controls and how everything works just by, like, oh well, yeah, X is jump because every other game is jump, right? Like it's different. So I'm already turned off by DLC. I'm already turned off by difficulty. Even though I love Elden Ring, I wouldn't be coming back to this because of that. And also a $40 price point. That's a pretty big jump too. Here's where I think this is interesting, is people are complaining that it is too difficult. What the heck is going on here? Is this not what the entire community prides themselves on this game about? Like, this is, people want it to be difficult.
They don't want to use summons.
I feel like
that's why they want to go in without summons and magic and stuff. So that's just it's like artificial difficulty that these people are putting on themselves. Because I know people are using their the mimic summon, which is like OP as fuck in the regular Elden Ring. So I don't.
Yeah.
Here I think it's more balanced, where like your mimic summon is not as good as it is in the base game. So people are they're testing stuff. So yeah.
I think they nerfed it. I think they nerfed
again.
it in a patch is what happened. I think
it was already nerfed before, and then.
Well, then maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I can't recall. I have not kept up with what they've done. I know that I have heard of some people going back into Erdtree and their build is completely screwed because like they've patched their build.
What?
Like it used to be OP and like they've patched it.
Yeah.
But to further elaborate on like what happened here. So not only were people complaining about this being too difficult, but From Software, again, this is like, what is going on? This is, am I living in crazy town? From Software patched it and made it easier, which is, From Software has actively come out and people are like, put it in easy mode, put it in easy mode. And they're like, no, we made this game the way we wanted to make it because F you, it's supposed to be hard. And if you don't like it, the game's not for you. And here we are having the community complain that this game is too hard, which is weird because it's a community that actively prides itself on how hard this game is, and saying we want it easier, and they say, okay, fine, we'll change it. We'll make it easier for you. This is so counterproductive to the entire argument, to the entire, and it just kind of proves to me that like it is such a, what is a good smart word for this? Pretentious, I guess, maybe hypocritical argument that this community and this developer has been making about this franchise, this series, for so long. And to dive into what happened here in the DLC. So this is, I actually do think that this is decent design and like an interesting way of getting around the problem of like a DLC, like in a total expansion, is so you can technically go into the DLC. Once you beat that boss, you can go in at any level. So to prevent somebody from going in as a level 150 or a level 300, you know, like obviously the level 300 would probably have a much easier time than the level 150, but they both have access to that content at the same time. So in order to prevent that, they basically nerf your freaking character as soon as it gets into the expansion. And in order to become more powerful, there are two resources that you can find throughout the world of the expansion that only work in improving your character towards the expansion areas. One of them increases your base attack by 5%, and one of them increases your base defense by 5%. So it's very easy to keep up with. It's very easy to understand. What I mean, obviously, like Redditors figured this stuff out and like tested it and made sure the stats were right. But it was about a 5% increase per item that you used. And they patched it so that it now is like a ridiculous curve that like gives you like the first few that you do gives you like 10% instead of 5. Wow. And like stuff like that. Like it's an, if you can find an image of the graph on like on certain message boards, but they changed the curve drastically to significantly power up your character as you use these items. So I think that that's a fine system to use if that's what you want. I think, you know, like you can argue if that is different than grinding enemies for XP. All you're really doing is grinding for these items and like searching for them. So you're not really encouraged to explore as much as you're encouraged to find these items specifically. But I think easily the conversation here is, why is this community upset that this is hard when they like hard things? And why is FromSoft, the people who are often saying, well, if you don't like it, go play something else, capitulating and saying, fine, you know, like, you can have it easier. I don't know. Alexis, do you have any input on that? I'm interested if you think the same.
No, I feel the same with you. 'Cause like the Souls community is very like pretentious and like they're like very like arrogant and like they want to play by their own rules and stuff. So like any summons or magic is like they're not playing with that. And I mean with this patch, I'm surprised they patched it. Like, 'cause before like people were complaining when Elden Ring came out like how hard some of the bosses were and stuff, like Millennia. They nerfed Radon, I think, once, because before, like, when the game came out, it was harder, and then they nerfed them.
I think so.
How many people talking about that? And then, like, with this DLC, I mean, the people who are buying this are, like, very hardcore, so it's just, like, you just gotta deal with it, like, honestly, because, like, I mean, Elden Ring is, like, it was kind of easy at some points, where like or at some point like Millennia was just like fucking hard as fuck. Cause like damn. And then I guess with the DLC,
Sure, yeah.
I don't know how the bosses are. That's why I can't even gauge like how to.
I've heard the bosses are super hard. I mean, that's notorious in FromSoft DLC.
Mhm.
Is the bosses are supposed to be like the really hard part of the DLC.
Yeah.
And I've seen some people play against some of the bosses, and they're getting like 1-2 shot, something like that.
Yeah.
Like playing against some of these bosses, it's like it does look very difficult, but like again, these mother effers like it hard.
Yeah.
So like I don't know why they're complaining about it so much, but I mean it's enough to have the community backlash and review bomb it, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that shit. I don't know why people review bomb. Because, like, they already got your money, I guess. And I guess they just want to send feedback. I don't know.
Well, they got it, man, and they made it easier. They made it easier. Which it's even funny because earlier this week, the director of From Software / all of these Souls
Miyazaki,
games, Miyazaki, he came out and he said if we change the difficulty of the game, it would break the game.
Mm-hmm.
Which is,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, they just did that. They just did it. So again, it just comes across as pretentious and hypocritical to me. Admittedly, if you go and read the article or read the interview that he said that in, he doesn't actually mean that. He basically just means the game wouldn't be what he wanted it to be. It doesn't mean it would like literally break the game, but you get it. Like he still means that he doesn't want to change the difficulty of the game, but he did. So again, it's just odd. It's just weird.
Yep. And that's what Souls games are, very hard. Like Dark Souls 3, man. Like I was playing Dark Souls 3. That shit is so hard. Like that's even worse than Elden Ring. I remember playing that shit. It's like some of the bosses are just ridiculous. Like there's this one boss like you kill him in the first phase and he comes back to like life in the second phase. It's just like, damn. You gotta like conserve your flask and stuff. And you don't have that many items compared to Elden Ring where you have like a lot more tools and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe just
gotta watch out for those second phases.
Dude, yeah. It was this. I forgot the name of it, but it was like you're fighting like a knight, and then you have another knight that helps you fight it. That's also fighting you. It's like it's weird. So that was it for Elden Ring. I'm excited to like drop in one of these days when I do have the time, or when I'm interested to play it again. Because I just did finish it like earlier this year, I think, or late last year. I forgot. Yeah, Elden Ring. Next one, before we get into Direct, I just want to announce the PS Plus monthly games for the month of July. It's going to be Borderlands 3, NHL 24, and Among Us. So some old ass games on here, and then we also have NHL, which is pretty recent. Like I feel like they always add sports games to these monthly games, because I think they had FIFA like in June or May, and then I guess now they have hockey. I don't mind it because I'm not paying for it, so it's just like it's like a bonus on top of this. So I'm excited to play Borderlands 3. It was one of the games I've been trying to get into because I was playing. I did finish the second one, and I thought it was good. I just needed to check if they were doing an updated edition of Borderlands 3. So I mean, I'll try it out honestly and get some friends on there, like get some co-op shooting in there. But Among Us though is just like, why is this in here? Because this game is like $3.
Yeah, it's $3.
And it's free on your phone. It's like, and the game just fell off. I think. I'm just tired of Among Us. It was fun for the first month or two when it was very popular. And
in the pandemic.
Yeah, it was like during that time, and then just like, I don't want to play it anymore. Like, why they should have been a game like last year or like 2 years ago, which would have made more sense. And just like Among Us now, it's like,
yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, I'll add it to my library, but who knows when.
Yeah, exactly. Why not, right? You paid for it already, pretty much. Yeah. I'd say, when I look at this, I say this is an okay month. I'm not getting anything out of this. Like you said, Among Us is pretty much either $3 or free, depending on how you want to play it. And then Borderlands 3 I've already played. And then NHL, I'm not a hockey guy, so I'm a big sports game guy either. So it's completely, none of these I'll be touching any of these. But I will add them to my library because you should, just anyways, because you already played them. But when I look at this, I see during one of the leaks from Sony a while back, they talked about they had a presentation that leaked about what they were trying to accomplish with every PlayStation Plus monthly giveaway, and each game is they have 3 categories: prestige, wide appeal, and variety. And I see all of them here. Borderlands is obviously the prestige, NHL is the wide appeal, and Among Us is the variety. The odd indie game, but I think Among Us kind of drags down this month, and obviously I don't care about NHL. But maybe if you do, great. But the value of Among Us is low. That's what's frustrating to me. But other than that, yeah. I mean, I won't be touching these, but I hope you enjoy them if you would like.
I'm excited for Borderlands 3. I do want to play that. So that, and there was another month of PS Plus that was really good a couple months ago where I had Ghost Runner 2 and Tunic and FIFA 24. It's just like, that was a good month because it's like,
that was a good month. Yeah,
I fucking love Ghost Runner, and then they had the second one, so I do want to play that shit because that shit was fun, the first one. And then Tunic was also like a lot of people's favorite. So some of these
Tunic's great.
Some of these monthly games are good, and then it has been declining, I think, a bit because, oh my god, do you remember when there was this one month? I think it was in 2021, like a year after FF7 came out, FF7 Remake came out. They put in the PS Plus games, and they also gave you Control, the Ultimate Edition.
Oh, that was crazy.
That was
yeah.
like, what the fuck? And it's just like, it's crazy because that was a year after FF7 Remake came out. Like, imagine like one of these months, like what if next February they gave you a Rebirth for the one of the multi games, which is like, I can't imagine that. So yeah, it's whatever. I'm just rambling about PS Plus. Hopefully we get another good month. Let's get into the main topic of the show, which is the Direct,
the biggie,
the Nintendo Direct. Yeah. Fucking Nintendo Direct, man. They always hit it out of the park, I think. Most of the time, I think
most of the time. We'll go.
I think there was like
most.
this one Direct I didn't really like, but they always have like a one more good thing at the end, which is exciting.
Yeah, they do.
Which I like because Sony didn't for some reason. They had Astro, just like, okay, cool. So let's get started with this. There was a lot of games they showed, honestly.
Yeah, it was big.
A lot of cool stuff too. They started the show with Mario and Luigi Brothership. So this was a series that was previously made by Alpha Dream, and I guess it's finally back. It caught me by surprise. It's weird, like the style. It's almost like cel shaded.
Yeah.
But someone mentioned that it looks kind of low budget, which after watching it, yeah, I could see it a little bit. But it might just because it's a Switch game, so like they had to like cut back. And
yeah.
I wonder how long this was in development because Alpha Dream was like closed down, but then it came out that some of those people from Alpha Dream are working on this game. And if you don't know what Mario and Luigi is, like a timed turn-based game where you play as Mario and Luigi and stuff, and like you just fight enemies. So sort of like Paper Mario, but like way more advanced. I'm surprised this is actually coming out because this is like a series that I thought was like gone. There's like, it's over. I don't think they're gonna come back, and I guess now it's back. I wonder if people are gonna play it now. There's been a lot of Mario RPGs within the past year. You had Mario RPG, Paper Mario, now you have this, so it's like a lot. And for like this series, I only played Superstars Saga on the Game Boy, so I don't really have much to say on it. But I thought it was a cool little game to play. Didn't really catch me. So I'm not really interested in it. I'm interested to see what people think of this because there's a lot of Mario and Luigi fans. So I don't know if are you into this series or no?
I'm glad you asked, Alexis. Yeah. I actually also have only played Superstar Saga. I believe that was on the Game Boy Advance. And I got stuck like halfway through it. I was like 8 or something when I played it. I can't remember. Or maybe 12. I don't know. Probably maybe too old to get stuck in a game, but probably also I'm too stupid to not get stuck in a game. So, I got stuck like halfway through and I dropped it. I never went back. But and that was, I think, before like you could just go online and Google, what do I do here? Like I couldn't do that. So, but I thought that they were charming, fun games that had Like, I really like the active time, like, turn-based style. It was not invented in Superstar Saga, I don't believe. Maybe it was. I'd have to go back and check the timeline on that. But yeah, a lot of people really like these games, and I think the last one they made was not well received. I believe that was the Paper Mario crossover with Superstar Saga, or Mario and Luigi X Paper Mario, and I think it's like in a low 70s position, which is kind of crazy for a Nintendo IP at all to be low 70s, or Nintendo Direct first party IP.
Mm-hmm.
So for this game specifically, I actually think it looks really good. I'm really interested in giving this series another shot. What I think is interesting to note is both of the things that you mentioned, Alexis. I think that this game does look a little, when you say budget, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I think it looks like it's running on the Switch. And I think that maybe that is the definition of budget at this point, but I think the Switch just cannot produce anything that is going to look great. I think it's just that's just how it is now. And it does look a little rough around the edges in terms of its graphics, but in terms of, it looks like it still has a lot of Nintendo polish, and it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, this is still going to be a good game, and people are going to enjoy it, especially if they like the series. The thing about it, that was the other thing I was going to mention, is Nintendo has specifically stated they are not going to talk about who this they haven't stated who the developer is.
Yeah, it's weird. They always do that.
Which is odd. Yeah, that we do know, like you said, there are people from the previous series working on it, but they won't tell who the developer is, which I just don't know why they would keep that hidden. But I still think it looks good, and I still think it was a strong opener for their direct, for sure.
Yeah, surprise opening, honestly. So it was cool to see that. So I'm glad to see it back, because I know a lot of people were championing for it. Next, they showed Nintendo World Championship. So if you don't know what this is, it's like a speed running sort of thing with like different NES games. This is the NES version, so I think there might be a SNES version in the future. So what I got out from this is, like, this is not something I'm interested in at all.
Yeah.
The deluxe edition, though, like, if you do get the physical deluxe edition, there's some cool goodies in it. And if you were to buy it, I would get the deluxe edition, because there's like some cool stuff in there. I just have no interest at all, because I don't really care about speedrunning games, because I like enjoying my games and like eating it like bit by bit instead of just like speedrunning it. But these are not like full games. They give you like challenges to do, and you got to complete them like as fast as possible.
Yeah, it's like WarioWare, but for NES games.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah,
that's how I'd say it. Yeah.
So it's only like 13 NES games for like Mario, Zelda, Metroid, and stuff like that. Excite Bike, of course. Do you have any interest in that, or is like a skip for you?
It's definitely a skip for me. I'd like to get into WarioWare games, but every time I play WarioWare, I play it for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, yep, I got this, I'm out, and that's pretty much it. And I think that the huge thing here is you'd have a nostalgic connection to these games, and I don't have I'm too young. I'm too young to have a nostalgic connection to any of these games, so I don't have anything attaching me to this particularly. So I definitely a skip here for me.
Yeah. I don't know if there's interest in that. So next game they showed is Fairy Tail 2. And what I wrote down is, this is an anime game. It looks very rough,
Yeah.
low budget, frames were dropping, not interested.
Yeah, welcome to anime games.
It looks so bad.
Especially for a series that nobody cares about in the first place.
Exactly. Fairy Tail is just like one of those anime that just like came and went. This is like, people remember that? Like, remember Fairy Tail like back then, and that's it. Like,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I'm an anime guy, and I watched like the first 30, maybe 40 episodes of Fairy Tail just out of sheer boredom, and dropped off and never went back. And like, I think Fairy Tail is one of those series that I check in every once in a while, and it's like, what the frick is even going on with this series? How is this still going? And I think like the anime has been through some weird stuff too. Like stopped for a long time, and then it came back with like a 100 years war or something. I don't even remember. Like it's so out of my depth. But I'm not interested in Fairy Tail at all. And the games are even worse because it's like they don't take. There is no Fairy Tail game per se. It's not like the best anime game I can think of is like a Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm or something like that like takes you through the story from the very beginning of the series to the end of it. And for Fairy Tail, this is Fairy Tail 2. For one, it's a turn-based game, which is just, you don't see that very often for a shonen series. That just seems out of place. I guess the last One Piece game did that, though. But in this case, the first Fairy Tail game was a turn-based RPG, and it took place during an arc that was like 3/4 of the way through the series.
wow.
So like you couldn't, if you weren't a Fairy Tail fan, you couldn't play the game because you'd have no idea what the heck who anybody was or what was going on. And this is Fairy Tail 2, and so it will continue that. So this is for the hardcore Fairy Tail fans out there. If you're into Fairy Tail, they made another wonderful game for you, I'm sure.
Yep. It's very low budget. Like, take a look at the gameplay if you do want to see how it looks. It looks so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into this next one. Fantasia Neo Dimension. This was leaked that this was gonna show up at one of these showcases, and it showed up this direct, and it's coming to all consoles. I think. I think it's everything, including PC. If you don't know what this game is and why it's a big deal to like a lot of people, it's a game made by Hironobu Sakaguchi, so like the creator, the godfather of Final Fantasy, and there's also music from Nobuo Uematsu, so he's also like the original music creator for like all the Final Fantasy games from back then. So people are like saying there's like a spiritual successor to Final Fantasy and stuff. And looking at the gameplay, it's weird because it's turn-based, but it's like different gimmicks to like the turn-based battles. Like there's like certain attacks that you can use to attack multiple enemies in a row. So like how you attacked will attack multiple in a row or something like that. So I haven't looked at much gameplay. I was just looking at the trailer and stuff, and I saw a lot of people saying that it's actually kind of good. So this was stuck on the Apple Arcade, so that's why you never saw a lot of people talk about it. So the only way you can play is on your iPhone. But now it's coming to consoles later this year. And an interesting thing about this is being published by Square Enix. So, you know, these guys, these legends are like working back with their old publisher, their old developer. So it's cool to see that, honestly. I do want to see like what the reception is on this though. Like I wonder what people will think about it, like the main what most people will say about it, especially on PC, so you can get like an idea of like the reviews and stuff. The only thing that caught my eye that I didn't really like was the character design. So I don't know if you felt the same way, Henry, that the character designs are not like, they didn't catch my eye compared to like Final Fantasy, where like there's iconic designs in that series, like Cloud. You got like Squall or Tidus and stuff like that. And like with this, it didn't really catch my eye, but I'll just have to look more into it. But this was a cool little surprise. I don't know if you were like interested at this because this is like Hironobu Sakaguchi, so I'm interested to see like how the story is like if I do play it, and like how like the comparisons I get with like the older Final Fantasy games and stuff like that. Same with the music, because like Uematsu, like he has a style to his music that you can like you can notice sort of like right away maybe, but like you can see like his vision in the music.
Yeah, I think you hit all the big points here. This is, the creator / godfather of Final Fantasy. You got a lot of big names behind it. Square Enix is publishing it, which is interesting considering like this is the guy who made one of their biggest franchises and then like bailed, and now like they're working together again. I think this game looks very pretty. I think this is clearly a big deal for a lot of people. I don't think it's a huge deal for me. I'm interested to see what there's. Well, I guess we should already know if it's a good game, right? Because it's been out on phones. for a while on Apple Arcade, which is also very interesting. I don't know what you think about Apple Arcade, but like I hear it's a good service, but just nobody uses it.
Yeah.
Like you have to actually play on your phone, and I just don't do that. But I don't know if I'll get around to this one. I think it looks really really pretty, but I just need a lot to get me into an old school turn-based RPG. So this really needs to, like, I need somebody to tell me that this game has a really great story and characters or great world or something like that. I don't know if I've heard as many people say that as much as they've been saying this game has a really great pedigree, which it certainly does. So, maybe I'll give it a shot, maybe not. As for the character designs, like you mentioned, Alexis, I don't think they're bad. I think they're anime.
Yeah.
I think they're very anime. And, like when you say something like, oh, well, a iconic design of somebody like Cloud or something like that, I think a lot of those designs, when you mention somebody like Cloud especially, they're iconic because the games were good. And we look back on them fondly. Like, if you legit look at Cloud as without any, like, divorced from Final Fantasy VII, and like just imagine he was just like the first time you ever saw him associated with nothing, I think you'd say that is a generic looking anime character. That is like the most generic looking anime character I've ever seen in my whole life. And so I think maybe these character designs would be cooler to me if I liked the characters more, and that's that happens after you play the game. So I'll take them or leave them for right now, though. But yeah, we'll see when the time comes, if I ever get around to it.
It was a cool little announcement right here. Next one, they showed Nintendo Switch Sports basketball update. It's just a random ass update, because this game came out like a couple years ago, and I don't know why, but this game just doesn't appeal to me. Like, it's so weird because like I loved Wii Sports and like Wii Sports Resort when they were like on the Wii and stuff. It's just like those games are like good as hell, and I just remember hearing people say Switch Sports is like not that good, and like how there's a lot of content missing. There's no soul in it, and I'm just surprised it's still getting updates, like because I thought it was already done updating, and I guess this is like probably maybe the last update. And it's funny because the basketball was already in the Wii Sports Resort, I think. It was one of them games, and like you could play basketball and stuff, and like now they're barely adding it to this, so it's just like they're just like fucking building it back to how it was. And I just hate how the characters look, because they added some like new designs for your character to like more customize them, and I just think the Miis are just like way better. Because the Miis are just like, they look goofy and stuff. It's just like they look dumb and stuff. It's just like it just fits that world of like Wii Sports and stuff. Yeah, I don't have much to say on this. So yeah, I don't even have it. I think my sister bought it when it came out because they were hyped for it. Because man, we used to play the fuck out of Wii Sports. I guess there's a cool little update for those who are still playing it.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I don't know why, but yeah, like Nintendo Switch Sports, or Nintendo Wii Sports was like a huge deal. Obviously, I think that had to do with the fact that it came bundled in with the console. So literally everybody had it and everybody could play it, and the Wii is one of the best-selling consoles ever. So, like, there's a lot of nostalgia connection to it, and obviously, a lot of people had a good impression of it because, they were learning the gimmicks and the quirks of the Wii and its motion controls, and Nintendo just somehow also just has magic that they put into every game that everybody loves for some reason. But this game really just didn't seem to hit that same chord. People just didn't seem to care about it very much, and I didn't even know they were updating it. I recently learned that this was kind of like a live service game, which is really weird coming from Nintendo. I don't think you can buy stuff, but there's daily quests and stuff like that you can do, and then unlock outfits and stuff like that. So it continuously encourages you to come back every day to do stuff. I guess kudos to those who are still with it, but I haven't tried it. I have a copy of it that I got for $10 on Black Friday at GameStop or something like that. I have not gotten around to trying it yet, But I thought I'd like to see what happened to Nintendo Sports. But yeah, I can't say I'm excited about it. But cool to those who still want to play Switch Sports, I guess.
I wonder if they're still playing it though, because it's like, can't believe it. I forgot those was the thing. So
yeah, I would think the community has to be small.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Next, they showed Mio, or Memories in Orbit. So when I was looking at it, it was like a short trailer, so they didn't show much. But what I got from it is like a platforming Metroidvania, sort of like in the vein of Hollow Knight, maybe. It comes out next year though, so we're not gonna be seeing it anytime soon. When I was looking at it, I'm like, it has like an artistic drawing style, so I'm not really into Metroidvanias as I think I am. Like, I still haven't played a lot of them, but they just don't really entice me. So, but I do like how it looks, like the style, and like it's very artistic in drawing or whatever. I don't know if you have anything to say on Memories in Orbit.
Nope.
All right, next one, Disney Illusion Island update. So this is sort of like a 2D side scroller, sort of like, I think like Rayman Legends or something. You just play with like Disney characters and stuff like Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, and stuff like that. Yeah, I haven't played this game at all, so it's like this update doesn't have anything with me. So yeah.
I don't know. I keep seeing this too. Well, obviously it's an update, so but like this is something Nintendo continues to push as like this is a first party, not a first party game, but it's a second party game. Like it's an exclusive to the Switch, console. I may be using second party incorrectly, but it is an exclusive to the Switch console, which is just odd. It means that probably Nintendo locked that down for some reason, because it could definitely run on any other console if it can run on the Switch. So like it's just odd. But yeah, they continue to push it.
It's gonna sell the most on Switch, so it's like, I mean, they got that money, so it's whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
Same with this next game, Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I wrote down that this is the South Park meme, that game that comes true. Because if you remember, during the World of Warcraft episode of South Park, they're asking Butters to play with them, and he said he's playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure. And this is like, oh my god, over like 10 years ago. So like, they might have like looked at that and got inspiration to make this. So yeah, for Hello Kitty fans, there you go. It's basically Animal Crossing with like Sanrio characters. So like Sanrio is like the world of Hello Kitty, stuff like that. It was on the Apple Arcade, so now it's coming to the Switch as a timed console exclusive for next year. So if you're on the PS5, you probably won't see this till like late 2025 or 2026. So
oh no,
you might have to get a Switch to play Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Yeah, run, don't walk to get a Switch now for Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Dang it, Nintendo with their exclusives, they got it.
I can't believe this.
I mean, Hello Kitty's huge. I mean, I know a lot of people like I know that are hella into Hello Kitty and shit. It's just like,
I know. I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah, this game was nominated for best mobile game at the Game Awards last year. So like, this is apparently an okay game. I don't know why it was nominated for Game of the Year or Mobile Game of the Year, but it was. So like, maybe there just weren't very many great mobile games, but this one somehow made the cut. So maybe it's great. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to give it a try.
And Hello Kitty is like the most like top grossing like franchise of the world. So
it's one of them.
I think it's up there with like Pokemon. So it's just like,
Pokemon is number one.
Don't underestimate the Hello Kitty fans. So check it out when it comes out for the Switch. The next thing they showed is Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sport, and this kind of reminded me of like a PS2 era type of game. It's just like,
it looked like it.
The game, I say the game looks good, like stylistically, but there is a caveat that I noticed, and hopefully you caught on to it, Henry. This game is being made by Game Mill, so be caught.
Oh, I did not.
Be caution when buying this. So if you were interested at this at all, just wait a bit, because you don't know if this game's gonna turn out very bad. Because Game Mill, the only games they've made that are really good are like the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, which is like, I never played it, but I know people loved it. But they also made stinkers like was it King Kong, right? Avatar, a lot of licensed crap. So
Yeah, a lot of nonsense like that.
mm,
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't notice that. It looked budget, but I mean, like, I didn't realize it was that going to be that budget. But yeah, yeah, staying far, far away from this
yeah,
now.
be
Definitely.
caution. There's like a sign. Be caution. The yellow sign. Next, they showed the Among Us update, and it's funny because this leaked, and then people were saying, "Oh, is it direct gonna happen that day?" And it actually did. Nah, like we were talking about this earlier for the PS Plus games. I don't really care about Among Us at all. Like it had this little run,
Yeah,
but just like, nah, I'm good. And it's like,
yeah, good for the people who want to play Among Us.
yeah,
Still, I'm sure there's a lot of people, probably more than we realize, but
yeah,
not
in
me.
that community. Yeah, we're not in that community, so I can't really tell. But there probably is a small dedicated community. Um, they're just like new roles for crewmates, imposters, and stuff like that. So, with all due respect, I don't really care. Next, they showed Farmagia, and this was a very weird game. Looking at it, and one thing I noticed is the art style is by the fairy tale author Hiro Mashima. So, if you just look at the characters, you could tell they're like from fairy tale. Um, so this is like a farming game with like Pikmin elements. So you gotta cultivating plants to harvest animals, and then you fight these big monsters and stuff. So, you gotta have at least one farming game in these directs, right? So, there you
Oh
go.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like this is your obligatory Nintendo
Yeah.
Direct, comfy farming game. So yeah, that's all I have to say
Yeah.
about that.
Next is this got the Donkey Kong community in shambles. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. So I keep saying this game keeps coming back. Like, I keep seeing this game keep getting remastered, and I've people found out this game has already come out 3 times.
Yeah, I
So
know,
it's just
right?
like the fans are mad as hell because they haven't had a new game since like the Wii, like early Wii U, I think, and it's coming out in early of next year. So it's just like you gotta wait more. I thought this should have been coming out this year. Um, so the DK community, man, watch out for them. They're angry. So get
I know. It's weird because I actually have seen people vocally be like, "There should have been a Donkey Kong game coming out this year," and I'm like, "I don't know. You're crazy. Like, I don't know about that. Like, this is just not a franchise that Nintendo seems to put much stock in. Like, they don't make very many Donkey Kong games, you
yeah.
know. So this is another remake. I feel like Nintendo is getting used to that now. They seem to be putting out a lot of remakes. So if you wanted to replay Donkey Kong, if you didn't replay it the last time they remade it, you can do it again.
Yep. Maybe it'll be $50, I think, but that's still a lot. So
I think it'll probably be
oh,
60.
that's
I think it's going to be full price.
ouch.
Tropical Freeze was full price. I think it still is
Yeah.
full price.
Yeah.
Even after it was ported, and that was like a joke for a long time. It was like Nintendo Nintendo financial meeting, like Nintendo states that they can't survive,
Yeah.
like they can't survive if they discount Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, like it's just so weird. Nintendo never discounts
It's
this
so
stuff.
yeah, I hate that about them. Next was a cool surprise. Dragon Quest 3 remake. They finally showed it after this whole time. People were wondering, like,
Yeah.
did it get canceled? Or what happened to it? Like, why is it taking so long? But then you find out, like, at the end of this trailer, you find out the reason why they're taking so long is because they're also remaking Dragon Quest 1 and 2. But those are coming out next year, so 2025. So that's a huge Square Enix game right there. It's going to sell a lot in Japan. Like, it's going to be a million plus seller easily. Um, yeah, I would say this looks amazing. Like, just looking at it, I think it looks way better than it did before.
It looks good.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
just like even the cover art. Like, have you seen the cover art? It's like sort of like the Octopath style. And it was also the artist that did the Octopath art, so it's sort of like in that
Mhm.
same vein. And like, man, it looks amazing, man. I feel like this might be the game that puts Dragon Quest on the map in the West, like to popularize it. Maybe we'll see. You don't know.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know.
It's,
I don't
yeah,
know. I think Dragon Quest 3 is known as being very old
no,
school. It's known as being very beloved. It is known as being like one of the big Dragon Quest games, but it is an old JRPG, and it comes with all the trappings of an old JRPG, and I think it can possibly still be very off-putting to a new audience or to a modern audience per se.
Think so?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think the graphical updates here look amazing, and they're doing even more to it than that. I know they're like adding a day-night cycle and a few other things. I think if they don't, I don't think they are going to update this to be more in line with modern standards of JRPGs. I think it's still going to be grindy. I think it's still going to have a lot of, like random battles that people are going to be frustrated with. I think there's going to be a lot here. I think the combat's still going to be antiquated. I think there's still going to be a lot here that they're going to leave intact. And I think that's what old school fans would want. But I don't know if that's what a modern audience would want. And I think that may hurt it. That's what I think may happen. It's a possibility.
Yeah, you do have a point there, and I think they are accounting for that. Where like some people, they do want the classic, like I wanted like how it was like back then, and like the messages basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
And then I feel like there might be some settings, because if you remember with the Pixel remasters, they added settings for like extra experience, no random encounters, extra money, stuff like that. And
that's possible.
yeah, I was wondering maybe they could add it into this. So we'll see. I mean, I do have some worries about that, because some of these older JRPGs are like very brutal. But
Yeah, very.
But I think they will account for like the modern audience, because it's like a different time and era for this. But then the Japanese audience, they want everything like Dragon Quest like to be traditional and stuff. So yeah, this is awesome. It's called the Erdtree trilogy. So I mean, I was saying maybe we can get some more games remade in the Dragon Quest 4, 5, 6. You never know. So it was also confirmed that there's voice acting in this game. So
that's
yeah,
nice to hear.
I was like, oh shit. So they're going above and beyond with this.
Yeah, they really are.
So I'm interested to see how this plays out, and it's coming out this year. So for Dragon Quest 3, yeah, it's coming out this year. 1 and 2 next year. Because it's weird, because there's like it's like a chronological order, so 3 and then 1 then 2, because they're all like sort of connected. But maybe it was like this weird thing with the story and stuff. So cool announcement there. Glad we got to see more of that. And then with that great announcement, we go to a shitty announcement. Funko Fusion.
Yeah.
It looked It might be the worst game in this direct, honestly. It looked like a Flash game made by one person. Yeah.
It's clearly budget as frick.
It looks so bad.
Yeah, I don't. It's even. What is this Funko obsession that people have nowadays? I don't even get
ugly.
it. Like there are people who, yeah, I don't love the designs of Funko. It's clear they have. There's Funko for everything you can possibly imagine. Even like the most obscure stuff you don't even remember existed has a Funko, and people will buy these things and resell them for hundreds of dollars. It's like there's a massive market for these things, but like I don't know. This video game seems like and if you don't remember, did that game even ever come out? Remember the Gears of War Funko Pop game?
What the fuck? No, I don't remember that.
Am I crazy? I think that there was a Gears of War Funko Pop game that Microsoft had announced at one of their conferences. I don't think it ever came out, but they announced it. But like Funko has, I think, been trying to push into like being basically Lego. Is what it looks like. At least this is what it looks like kind of to me. But it's weird because like Chucky is in this game. Like that was a character that they showed off. Like, like the murderous doll from horror films. Like I don't know. Like Funko just seemed like it was more of a kid's thing, but clearly not. Like I don't know. This really did look bad. So it doesn't matter either way. It's gonna suck. But I don't know. Funko. Good for you trying to push out there. Do your thing.
Yeah. Funko's just like they're ugly, and it's just like they all look the same. That's why I don't really like them. Like Amiibos are just like way better. Like why can't we have like a mass production of like sort of like Amiibos for like different companies and stuff? Because I mean Nintendo does that. They have like a Dark Souls Amiibo. They have Monster Hunter Amiibos, and for games only. But then like Wouldn't it be cool to see like an amiibo for like anime and stuff, and just sell it for like $16 or something, like 20?
I think you're just talking about
But
figures.
yeah,
They do that.
well, yeah, but
They do that for a lot of things.
amiibos are like they're affordable, and they're like they're consistent in quality and stuff. And they're like
Yeah,
in the
yeah, I
box.
agree with
'Cause
that.
I have a couple
Yeah.
amiibos, and it's just like I have them in the box. They look nice because they're actually the character. Um, so yeah, getting off topic, whatever. Um, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. I haven't played the second one because this was on the 3DS. So I
Yeah.
only played the first one on the GameCube, which was fun as hell. Looks okay. Looks good. I don't know if I'll play it when it comes out, but I mean, Luigi's Mansion is just like a franchise that I just haven't like any interest in. It's just like a weird game. Did you play?
It's
Did you play
different.
the second one?
It's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
interesting. Did you play the second one?
I've played 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I beat all 3. And like I went back and played a lot of 3DS games, at least a lot of exclusive 3DS games when it like way after its time. So I got it super cheap. But yeah, Luigi's Mansion 2 is probably, I'm not going to say it's the weakest of the series. I think 1 is honestly kind of overrated. Because that game, you can straight up beat that game in like 40 minutes. It's like so short. And I didn't realize that. I played it again. I played it way after the fact when I was much older, and I didn't realize it was such a short game. But it almost felt like a tech demo to me, the original Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion 2 felt a little bit more like a full-fledged game. And I appreciated it for that. I still think it's a pretty niche game. And I think if you like Luigi's Mansion 1 or 3, I guess, yeah, go for 2. I think this is kind of going along with, Nintendo is just getting really comfortable remaking games, and at this point, the 3DS is kind of a, if you're stranded on the 3DS, you're stranded there. So they're trying to bring games out of it and make them a little bit more modern, and obviously probably sell it for like $50-$60 or some nonsense and make a lot of money doing little work.
Yeah.
So
I think it's 60.
good for
'cause
them.
They put HD in the title. So
Oh yeah, well there you go. $60. Nice, cool, crisp 60
and
for
it'll
it.
sell, so.
It will definitely sell.
Next game they showed is the new Denpamen. And when I was looking at this, I thought it was like a new IP, but apparently it's like it's already they already had like a couple games on 3DS, and there are also some Japanese exclusive games. So this game is weird because it's sort of like they look like little Mii's, but it's like a dungeon crawling turn-based game with like Animal Crossing sim like elements. Yeah, I don't know. I this one didn't catch me at all, so skip for me.
Yeah, I genuinely have never heard of this franchise. Maybe I'm a noob, but yeah, I don't know anything about it, and I don't remember it very well from the direct. So skip as well.
Next game, I was like, oh shit, Metal Slug, but it's Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. So this is like a phone game. It's just getting ported.
Yeah,
I forgot the fucking, what is it called? Is this like turn based, or is it like, I forgot the how it plays, but it's like you drop your troops and like just attack and stuff. Tower defense.
it's tower
There we go.
defense.
Yeah, tower defense. Yeah, I don't know. I rather the original Metal Slugs. I rather have gameplay like that than this. So, got nothing to say on this.
Agreed. Yeah, I pass.
It's a phone game too, so it's like, Darkest Dungeon 2. I don't know if you have anything to say on this. All I see is like a roguelike RPG and stuff.
I know it's ridiculously hard. So I have it's literally meant to be like punishingly hard. Like that is the point. Like oppressive hard. And I know that the first one is highly respected, and the second one I think is as well. So if you are looking for that kind of an experience, great. I think the game came out last year or maybe 2 years ago on PC. So it's just, making its rounds to the Switch now, I guess.
It's also coming out on PS5 as well. That's why I saw it like in the pre-orders. So, yeah. Cool. Next, they went over some Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack add-ons. So, they're bringing in Link to the Past 4 Swords. So, another Zelda game right there. Metroid Zero Mission. So, cool, another Metroid game. And then they showed 2 M for mature games. So they showed Turok and Perfect Dark, which Perfect Dark makes it lines up with like how the Xbox showcase with their Perfect Dark reboot. And there's a disclaimer. So if you do want to play Turok and Perfect Dark, you're gonna have to download an extra app to play it, because those are M for mature games. So
Are they really doing that?
they gotta
Oh my
protect the kids.
gosh.
They can't be playing these games. You gotta make sure that whoever's playing it's 17 plus. So great on Nintendo thinking about the kids and stuff. Protecting the pure minds of people below 17 plus. So
Yeah. Nintendo. It's just
it's only those 2 games too.
there's other ways
Yeah.
of doing it, like there's just easier and better ways of doing it than just inconveniencing everybody, like I'm sure most kids would have a kid account, which they already allow parents to give their child on a Switch. So I don't know. It's like how frickin' there's no voice chat on the Switch. You have to use an app on your mobile phone in order to voice chat. It's like
use Discord
Nintendo
at
just
that point.
It's just crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like why does Nintendo have this weird infrastructure for stuff? I just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so dumb on Nintendo for doing that, but
well, yeah. I think this is also like this is probably like the best that I can recall additions to this service that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
That is, admittedly, you have to pay. Like I think the expansion for the N64 is $60. So instead of the yearly 20, yeah. I mean, and it's such a horrific value considering, like all the other online services, that you can get nowadays that give you monthly games that are recent, or at least more recent than a few decades ago, and only give you a drip feed. I mean, like, Nintendo's online service has always been horrible, but it's been at least tolerable when it's like, okay, you pay $20 and you get online access and you get these, like SNES or NES games, whichever. Like that was okay because I'm already paying, whatever, 40, 50, 60 bucks for PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live Gold that gets me online access. So 20 bucks from Nintendo and some old games that I'm probably never going to play is an okay deal. But yeah, I don't see myself wanting to pony up another 40 bucks for these games. So I'm out. It's a non-announcement for me. I think the most interesting thing is they got Perfect Dark, and that's obviously like an Xbox-owned IP now. So that's interesting, but good on the people who are paying for the online expansion. They get to play these games.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's like I'm not gonna pay for all that because it's not even worth it. Next, they showed Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero, sort of like a strategy, tactical RPG. By NIS, so it's sort of like in this Gaia, I think is how you say it, art style.
Yeah, it's very similar. Yeah.
The frames were dropping.
It almost looked like the same people. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the frames were dropping to like 5 frames per second, showing this game. So if you're gonna buy this on the Switch, buy with caution. We're buying a different platform, so yeah, I don't really have much to say on this.
Yeah, me neither. It's a Disgaea game. If you like Disgaea, it literally looks like a Disgaea game, just under a different name. So there you
go. Next, they showed. I didn't realize how big of a deal this was. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. I saw like a lot of people going crazy for this, especially Maximilian dude, because
he would for sure
going crazy because apparently he's been championing MVC 2 to be released on like modern platforms, and this comes with like 7 MVC games, and some are like fighting games or like beat 'em ups and stuff. And a lot of people are hyped for this. It's funny because this is coming out on the Switch and the PS4, but not on the Xbox. So if you have an Xbox, you won't be getting this for some reason. Which sucks for them. So yeah, I'm not really into fighting games. I played Marvel's Capcom 2 because I have it on the PS3. But fighting games are just not my thing. So, but it's cool that this is coming out from Capcom because I see a lot of people, they've been wanting these older Marvel vs. Capcom games, and there you go. Now you have it, and they're also coming with a physical. So there you go. Go ahead and buy it if you want. Show them your support, and maybe we might see Marvel vs. Capcom 4, which would be something I'd be interested in the future. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't think they're against making it. They made one not long ago. I think like on the PlayStation
Infinite?
4. They had a Marvel vs.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the
like-
one.
yeah.
I don't know what
Oh.
means. Is means it's good or
It's
bad? I
bad.
don't
You didn't
remember.
know about it?
I don't follow the fighting game community too much, so I just know that there was a Rocket Raccoon in it, and that's like the extent of my knowledge.
This was during the Capcom era, so when Capcom was like at its bottom. So when that came out,
Yeah, Crapcom.
yeah, people were like, they weren't even like interested in it at all. They were like, "What the fuck is this? It's like the worst game ever," and that was the last one that came out. So,
well, that would probably be why they haven't
Yeah.
made another one
I
then.
think it sold bad too.
Uh,
so.
Well, if everybody hated it, I would imagine so. But this one actually caught me off guard too. Like I said, I'm not very big into the fighting game community, and this like a lot of people were very happy about this announcement. My understanding, obviously, like Marvel vs. Capcom is already like a classic franchise. I mean, I even remember going into like arcades or like like not Ben and Jerry's, Dave and Buster's type situation or something like that, and like seeing as a kid Marvel vs. Capcom on one of the arcades, and just thinking it was super cool that I could play as all these different characters, from comics and video games and fight them against each other. I just thought it was awesome. So like I get the nostalgic connection here for sure, and they're well respected games too, especially Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But I think a huge deal is that some of these games I don't think ever came to the States. I think this is the first time that some of the games in the collection actually are available in America. So it's a big deal for the people who never even got to experience this and never had the possibility of experiencing those games. So, kudos to them for bringing them over and giving them to everybody in a nice package with a nice bow. So I won't be touching it, but happy for everybody who's happy for it.
Happy for them. Next, they showed Super Mario Party Jamboree. So, funny name right there. It's like a new Mario Party. And so far, it looks all right.
Yep. Yep.
I just prefer old Mario Party because I played the Mario Party Superstars, and like it was very forgiving for like if you make a mistake. Like it was easy to get stars and stuff. And it's like, damn, it's so easy to like to win. Where like in the old games, man, they're brutal. Like at times, it's like one mistake and like you're down to 4th place and stuff. But
do you ever play the games on the N64?
yeah, I played Mario Party 3 and 2.
Did you ever like rub your hand raw on the analog stick, like swirling it in a circle and stuff?
Yeah,
that was crazy.
It got so bad, like the silicone fell off the stick, so like there was only the hard shell below.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If you were doing one of those games where you had to rotate it, it's like you're injuring yourself playing these games, these mini games.
I knew people who get blisters doing that on the palm of their hand. Like it's dangerous playing those games.
Same with
man.
the GameCube,
but yeah,
because it was like the same thing where like it has a silicone, and like a couple of my GameCube controllers they lost the silicone, so like it was just the hard shell. It's like spiky too. It's just like just dangerous.
yeah. Jamboree is interesting because I find, it's another Mario Party game. Like, let's be real. They didn't show anything like that was super crazy or like interesting that would differentiate it from any other Mario Party game that's ever come out ever. What is interesting to me is Mario Party is consistently, at least on the Switch, one of their highest selling games like out there. And like everybody plays Mario Party. I don't know anybody who doesn't play Mario Party. It's an easy casual game for everybody to have fun with. But like these games don't review well. Like a lot of them are mid-low 70s, stuff like that, which is crazy. I don't know why they don't review well, but like it is odd that like everybody buys these games and they consistently do not review great. So I wouldn't pick this up in Fantasy Critic, but I feel like a lot of people are going to be playing this one way or another.
Yep. Yeah, they sell a lot, so we'll see. Next game they showed, surprise, honestly, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And
Yeah.
at first, you think, oh, it's like another Zelda game, like in that artistic style, sort of like was it Link to the Past, right? Or um,
Link's
Link's Awakening.
Awakening.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
This is in that same art style, but this time instead of playing as Link, you're playing as Zelda. Um, and there's a lot of cool things where like it's sort of like Tears of the Kingdom where you're building stuff and like you can like platform. You I believe you carry stuff or like you make stuff to like platform through like the areas and stuff, like make new like passageways and stuff like that. um it's cool. It's a nice surprise from this. I didn't expect this at all. I know like Zelda fans are going crazy for this. um are you excited for this? I think it's cool that they're having Zelda as like a the main protagonist in this one.
Yeah, I think this is the first Zelda playable protagonist game ever, which is very interesting. It I don't know if I'm personally excited. One, I'm not a huge Zelda guy. I have played every 3D Zelda and a couple of 2D Zeldas, and I say that like the games are good, but they don't resonate with me at least. In all honesty, I think some of the games aren't even that fun. But like in this instance, I actually did play the game from the previous game from the developer Link's Awakening. It's from the same art style, like it's in the same art style, like you said, and I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. You know, like they remade a 2D game. This is obvious. I believe it's the same developer, and this is them making their own thing. Same map as Link to the Past, so they're not making a new map, but you can interact with it in new ways. Obviously, this game looked good. I can't say that this game looked amazing to me. Like I feel like there's a lot of hype around this game, and specifically, it's interesting for me to think about because I look at this game and I say, if this game didn't have Legend of Zelda in front of it, I think nobody would care about it anywhere near as much as they care about it now. It's just interesting for me thinking about, you know, like the power that Nintendo's IP just in general hold, that just the name itself makes this game so much more appealing. Will I play this game? I really don't know. Like this, while it looked interesting, I can't say that this really like spoke to me in any real way. So, you know, I'm sure it will review very well. I'm sure it will be, you know, a good game, if not a great game. But, you know, this is not a Nintendo first party. This is a Nintendo second party. So we'll see. I don't know if you feel the same way. That came off a little down, but I don't know if you agree or disagree. Let me know.
Nah, I'm with you on that because I think I prefer like Zelda like in like the other forms where like it's a different art style because it's like more like chibi. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this like plays out like with the reviews and stuff because you know Zelda always reviews a lot, really well.
Yeah.
And like with this is like a new character basically, and there's like different play style. Yeah, I probably won't play it, but I mean it does look interesting, like some of the how it looks and plays and stuff like that. I do wonder though, with this because we got a Peach game, which came out earlier this year, and then now we got a Zelda game. So it's just like now it's just like the Nintendo's just like taking advantage of like all the characters and stuff, like the popularity and stuff.
They're trying to be like another Disney, dude. They're trying to be a big brand. Absolutely,
it was cool to see this. So I wonder how it's gonna.
No, you were literally just about to say the same thing. Is you're gonna say how is it gonna review? I'm gonna say, well, I would have told you at the beginning of the year, Princess Peach would have reviewed very well, and that didn't freaking review well at all. It has a 75. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, for a Nintendo IP, absolutely. Especially, you'd assume that Nintendo would put a lot of stock into making the women of their big franchises like have their first gameplay debuts be amazing. And apparently that's just not what happened with Princess Peach. So, and that was also from a second-party Nintendo studio as well. They farmed that one out. It wasn't a first-party development team at Nintendo working on it. So this is the same. So who knows? This could be a total frickin' bomb, but I don't see it happening because this team produced another Zelda game, and it was an 87. And that was even a game that people didn't even... I didn't even think people liked it that much, but they still gave it an 87 somehow on Metacritic. So... but I still I think this game is going to review well. But yeah, you can raise an eyebrow now after Princess Peach. Who knows?
Slight correction on the last. If this is the first Zelda game, you play as Zelda as a protagonist. If you can recall, do you remember the Philips CDI games of?
Oh, that is quite the correction.
So this is the second one.
Yes.
So the first one.
Yes.
I forgot the name of it.
That is true.
It might have been Wands of Gamelon or something. It's like.
It maybe. Yeah.
It's some shitty ass game. It's just like, you should look into that if you haven't, because it's like, oh my god, it's so funny.
I'm gonna bong some dodongos.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my god.
The classic YouTube poop era comedy.
Yeah, there you go. That's the right word for it. Can't believe those games fucking exist. That's crazy. And that was the last time.
It is crazy.
I think one of the last times that Nintendo gave it to somebody else to make a game.
That is why they never gave it to anyone else. Yep. It's because those games sucked so much. Yeah.
Next, Just Dance 2025 edition. A Nintendo staple right here. For some reason they.
Oh yeah, it is.
For some reason they sell a lot on Nintendo consoles. Like
a massive amount.
I just saw on Amazon 2024 they already sold like 2K copies on the Switch this past month. And I wonder who's buying that shit. And yeah, I got nothing else to say.
The casual audience, it's a massive seller. Did you know that they still made it for the Wii, I think, until last year?
I thought, okay, so I was going to say that too. When I was researching, the last one was, I think it was Just Dance 2020. I couldn't find any more after that. So I don't know if you were right.
There's definitely a 2024.
Okay. Because I remember
100%.
Because I remember that I was researching that a couple months ago. I'm like, what the fuck? There's a Just Dance for the Wii that just came out last year, and like I was trying to research it before the podcast, and I couldn't find it anymore. I was on Amazon and shit, and it's like they're still selling it for the Wii. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Oh. And I think a majority of their sales were on the Wii. Like it's an insane casual market that snaps this up. I have a cousin who plays, and she's not a gamer at all. That's like all she does is play Just Dance, or the only game she probably plays at all is Just Dance. But it's if you want to listen to Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, or whatever, whoever's popular, Bad Bunny, whoever is popular nowadays. I don't know. I'm not hip with it, but that's where you go, and you can wave a controller around and pretend to dance, and that's fun for a lot of people.
I remember seeing the ads and stuff. Like, there's hella ads for 2024 Just Dance, and it was like Spanish music and stuff like that, like Bad Bunny and stuff. It's like, oh shit, cool. All right. Next, they showed Lego Horizon Adventures. So this was revealed at Summer Games Fest. So this is them showing it again. Like, we have Horizon in our system. Yeah, I don't really have anything extra to say except that it's weird to see it on a Nintendo console, but at the same time it doesn't because it's a Lego game, and Horizon is just like, I don't know. If it was like Ratchet and Clank, this would be like a more bigger deal to me. But it's just Horizon, and I don't really have much stake in this series. But I mean, they showed it again, so cool to see it here at the Direct.
Yeah. Nothing for me either. We've already talked about it for the Game Awards or the Summer Games Fest. So yeah, nothing
same. Here. Next, they showed Stray. This was like weird. I was like, what the fuck, Stray? I thought this was already on the Switch, but I guess it wasn't. So this Stray came out like a couple of years ago. It was on PlayStation as an exclusive. Then it came to Xbox. It was also a PC at the same time. And now it's finally coming to the Switch, and you can see the downgrade with this. Just looking at the game. Like, just looking at the graphics, I mean, which is fine because you're only there for like to play as a cat and just like adventure.
It's just as a
there
cat,
to adventure around. So, perfect Switch game. I do wonder how it will sell because it's been a long time, And if this came out for the Switch when it was like the hype was at its highest, and it would have sold a lot more. So might be too little, too late, but cool to see it on the Switch, I guess.
Yeah, it'll make money. That's the whole thing. Is the Switch install base is so massive that even if a small fraction of the Switch install base buys it, I mean, it's typically worth porting it, so the costs of porting it. So, that's why you see all of these games coming out on the Switch, even if they don't make sense coming out on the Switch, because it can't handle it or it's worse, like you were just saying, because it'll still make money. There's so many people there that they'll buy it anyway. So I played Stray back when it was actually a PlayStation Plus Extra Day 1 freebie.
Oh, yeah.
Back when it released. So I played it back in the day when it originally released. It's good, not great. The coolest part is, you have like a very photorealistic cat that you're playing as that like looks and acts like a cat, and that's the coolest part of it. And so good to those who's able to play it on the Switch now.
Cool to see. Tales of the Shire, another farming game in the Hobbit universe. I don't really have anything to say about the Hobbit universe. I don't know about you. Do you?
Nah, me neither.
So it's just like another farming game. Yeah. You're interested?
Yep, another farming game.
Go on YouTube. You'll see what I'm talking about. Just not my style.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we say an obligatory comfy farming game from Nintendo. I feel like they have at least 2 or 3 every single direct. It's like this audience has to be saturated at this point. Like, they all have their Stardew Valley. Like, leave them alone. They won't buy yours too. But I guess not.
Next, they showed Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. So, looking this up, this was apparently a DS game called Ace Attorney Investigations, and now they're coming as a collection to all platforms. So, there's a series that I do want to get into one day because I have I have 2 collections on the PS5. I do want to get into it one day. I just got to sit down and just pay attention and just play it because these are just like cases, visual novels, I guess.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. A lot of people were hyped for this, so Ace Attorney fans, they're eating good right now. So it's cool to see Capcom, giving attention to their other IPs and bringing this collection to modern platforms. Cool to see, I think, and it was a nice announcement, even though I'm not into it, but yeah.
Yeah. Ace Attorney is a cool series. Obviously, has a very passionate fan base. You see it around all the time on the internet. But this is 2 games that focus on the side character. He's kind of like your rival of the protagonist throughout the series, and a very fan favorite character. And the second game in this collection never came stateside, so that's why it's kind of a big deal. Cool. And they've given it a very big graphical overhaul as well. If you see the side by side, it's like, oh yeah, it looked kind of like garbage in the first place. It's like it's like the pixel art's just so old and dated, and for a small screen that you can't really tell what's going on half the time. But like this looks a lot better, a lot cleaner. I played the first Phoenix Wright and I enjoyed it, but I got the collection, so it's the first 3 games. And by the time I made it like halfway through the second, I was like, I'm sick of reading, and like I dropped it. Yeah. It's good. I think the first game is good. Really, like, only certain cases in the games are good. And I don't know. I'm not as huge a fan of Ace Attorney as a lot of people are, but I do see the appeal. So again, happy for those who get to play this game for the first time / get to play the game that wasn't released initially. So good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Next, they show it was an interesting one. So the 100-line Last Defense Academy, from the creators of Danganronpa. You can tell by the art style and like how the characters look is like.
Yeah, very distinct. Yeah,
it's sort of like a strategy RPG, I think, or like strategy tactical game. So basically, this game is all about. So I'll read the description. 15 students are tasked with defending a school from grotesque monsters for 100 days. Can they make it to the end, and will they survive long enough to uncover the truth? So pretty cool, I think. Just looking at it, and I saw a lot of people hype for this. I saw Mr. Matty plays. He was looking at this. He's like, "Oh, this game looks amazing." I'm like, "Okay, interesting." I do wonder like how this will play out, like story wise, because that's what this game is all about and stuff like that. Um, I do like the premise of it, but it's coming out next year. Interesting. Um, man, I don't know. I'm mixed on it until I see more. But it was like a cool little new announcement, a new IP, which is always nice to see. I know you're a huge anime fan. Does this catch your eye? Because it's sort of like the anime style. Um,
Well, very astute of you, sir. Yes. I actually really, really like Danganronpa. I've played Danganronpa 1, 2, 3, and even Despair Girls, which is a spin-off game. But I really like the story and characters of that series, and the designs. Obviously, the art style is very iconic and it stands out. I haven't finished, but I'm currently playing through Raincode, which is the creator of Danganronpa's previous game. And I would say he's worked on several other projects in between Danganronpa and this as well. I'd say like this looks like another Danganronpa game from him. Not Danganronpa specifically, but another game from the guy who made Danganronpa. The thing about that is, I would say, Alexis, you say like, "Oh, I'm kind of skeptical of this. I don't know." I'd say continue to be skeptical of this. Most of his games / most of the games from this publisher are like very mediocre. I don't even know if mediocre is the word, but like they often have flaws in some way, shape, or form. Typically, the gameplay is fairly budget or fairly lackluster. And this looks like it could really fall into that trap as well. I will definitely be playing this just because I'm a fan of his work or his previous work, and it's up my alley. But will I have fun playing it? I don't know. Like that's the big question mark, and that's a very big question mark. So, I don't know, but I'm still looking forward to it. But we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, interesting perspective on it. I didn't realize like the gameplay was like it catches like. Is like it makes or break. Like damn. So yeah, I did like this. I thought it was Rain. Do you remember they announced this? I don't know if they announced this in the direct or something, but Rain Natis or Rain Natis. Oh man, I think that's how you say it, but it's sort of like let me see if I can find it. It's so weird because I think they announced this at a Japanese direct, and then they just announced it on their Twitter. Natis, I think. It's coming out this year. It's published by NIS. It has music by Yoko Shimomura. So it's just like people are calling this like Final Fantasy 15 as a spiritual successor. Because I thought it was that. That's when I saw it. But yeah, sort of like the same style maybe. Probably not. It just gave me those vibes just looking at it. So
maybe I honestly don't know that one. I'd have to see it. The name doesn't ring a bell to me personally.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like that game. I'm interested to see that game actually, to see how that reviews, because it looked interesting. But yeah, cool to see this game from the creators of Danganronpa. So nice little surprise there. Next, they showed Romancing Saga 2: Revenge of the Seven. If you don't know, this is a Square Enix game, and for this game I played the demo of the new one that came out, I think Emerald Beyond, and there's a couple takeaways from when I played it. The gameplay is very confusing. Like you have no idea what the fuck is going on. It was like, is this a right move? What does this do? What the hell is this? And the game was very low budget. Like they skimped out on like cutscenes and stuff, and some animations. But looking at this, it looks like they put more effort in it, and apparently it's a remake. So I read that they're also adding new changes to like welcome new players to the series, because man, playing that demo was tough, because I didn't know what the hell was going on at times.
I can imagine.
Wise, because it's like, what? Yeah, it's so weird. It's like hardcore, but I guess they're changing it to like make it easier, understand like different elements and stuff like that. Um, there's like a fan base that's very hardcore into this, but it's not a game I'm interested at all. But it was cool to see this here because I think Saga is like a weird franchise. It's like sort of like a JRPG that's like, I don't know, the weird one. It's like one of those games that's just like, oh, you've probably heard of Saga, but you never played it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I like you said, I've never played a Saga game, but I have heard of them, and I've heard of Romancing Saga 2, and it looks like this is a really good remake. But I'd have to hear a lot more to be convinced to play it, though, unfortunately. So we'll see. We'll see when the time comes. But right now, it's not on my radar.
It's very niche. Next, actually, the last game they showed, the One More Thing. You're like, what the hell they're gonna show? They finally unveiled Metroid Prime 4. If you don't remember, this game was revealed like a long time ago, and then after a couple years after that, they announced that they're going to be restructuring the game and starting from scratch. And it's been a long time, and now they're finally showing it. And first impressions, I think it looks great. Like honestly, like the game looks good. They put a lot of effort into it, and it's like it looks like they polished it and make sure that everything's right. And so far, yeah, I think Metroid Prime fans are like excited for this. It's coming out in 2025 though, and it's funny because they didn't put a release date or like anything on it. They just said 2025. So now people are speculating that's going to come out as a Switch 2 launch title, which makes sense with this.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what's going to happen, no doubt.
And at this point, I'm just waiting for 2 and 3 to get remastered, maybe Other M. So
we'll see about that. They definitely have 2 and 3 in the works to be remastered, no doubt. I'm pretty sure it's already been leaked that 2 is already done, and they just haven't. Nintendo is a weird way of releasing things in which they have a treasure trove of games that they just sit on. And then just like years after they're done, they'll just release it when they have like a gap in their schedule that they need to fill. And the most recent Fire Emblem game was an example of that.
That shit was crazy.
That thing had been like done for like 2 or 3 years or something like that, and then they were just like, "Yeah, I guess we'll release it." It's crazy. But have you played the original Metroid Prime? Any one of them, I guess.
I have Metroid Prime Remastered, but I still haven't played it.
Okay.
I know my friend is huge into it. Like he loves it. Like he finished that game like within like a couple of weeks. The remaster came out. Like he 100% it. So he was hyped for this. Looking at it. So.
Yeah, I played the remaster of the first game as well. That's the only one I've ever played, and that was the first exposure I had to it, I think last year. And it's a very, very well-beloved series, specifically the first one. And I think that it is a good game. I think it's a good game. I think there's some great elements to it. I think the atmosphere is great. I think it's well known for its atmosphere too.
No dialogue.
I think
right?
that it is
very little.
There is no dialogue at all. Yeah, it's completely silent. Samus is a completely silent protagonist, and there are no characters that you really talk to. There's a few like logs that you read, but there's no like actual dialogue at all. At least in the first game. I haven't played the others to verify that, but I'd assume that it's probably pretty quiet there too. But I think there's a lot of backtracking, and I think that a lot of people note that when referring to the game. But there's a lot of backtracking in it that really bogs it down in the second half or like final quarter of the game, and it made it a lot less of an enjoyable experience for me. I still think it's a good game, like an 8 out of 10, 8.5 maybe. But you know, that is of course coming as somebody who is coming at it decades after it released. So I one, don't have nostalgia for it, and two, I'm looking at it from a modern lens because you know I have modern expectations or more modern expectations, or that will likely bias me in a way. So, you know, it is what it is. But this game, when I saw this, I genuinely when I saw the footage, could not tell if this was Metroid Prime 4 or the Metroid Prime 2 remake, because I have never played 2, so I don't know what it looks like. But I could tell you that this didn't look like a massive jump up from 1, which is just odd considering that it has been literal decades now since 3 released, and they have had such a troubled development with this game, to a point where they completely removed a developer from it at one point, like you said, and then built it from the ground up again, because the game was oddly so bad that Nintendo stepped in and said, there's no way we can release this. And they even made a public apology to the community, because they had already announced it and said, sorry, like, it's going to take a lot longer because we were not happy with how this was looking. So, like, this is a game that has clearly been through a troubled development. They have now given it back to the original developers of the original trilogy. So it's in hands that made those games initially, but this game, from what they showed, did not show me anything impressive. It did not show me anything exciting. It showed me that this has not changed at all over the course of 2 decades. It showed me, like a possible hint of maybe you're going into like a forest or an open world, or possibly something like the environments may be bigger. But like, that's obvious. Like, that should be the case. If that's not the case 2 years later, I don't know what have we been waiting for. I don't know. And I just can't say that I'm too excited for this game, and I can't say that this trailer really did a great job of showing off anything about it. So, glad people are getting another Metroid Prime. They've clearly been starved for it for way too long, but I would be a little underwhelmed if this is all I got from a series that I've been waiting 2 decades for, and I knew had a lot of problems behind the scenes. So I think this game, even if it sucks, I think this game is still going to review well, and people are going to be super hyped for it. But I don't know. Do you think I'm being too hard here? What did you think about the trailer?
Maybe a little too harsh, because I do think it looks good. Like, it still looks like a modern Metroid Prime game, but I do know what you mean. But like, you want it to look better because it's been in development for a while. Yeah, they did show like not that much. I mean, they show like an enemy at the end. I forgot his name.
Ridley?
No, it was like a fucking
Space
pirate. There you go. And he was with Metroids and stuff like that. You're like, what the fuck is going on? But I know, like, I know I'm with you on that, because I knew it was Metroid Prime 4, because it's like it's a one more thing. They're not gonna show 2 and 3 remastered as the last thing on the direct. So I was expecting 4, and then yeah, I mean, it looks good. I don't know if like how it will look like on the Switch too, though. Like, if there will be a big difference, because I mean, it's on the Switch. This is like PS3 type hardware, and like, there's not much you can do with that.
I'm concerned about that too.
Man, I do wonder how the Switch 2 will look, because I mean, it was made for the Switch, so like, you probably won't get that big of a difference on the next Switch. So I'm with you on that. I mean, it is. I do wonder if I was like a huge Metroid Prime fan, if I could see like how different it looks. But yeah, I'm with you on that. It's a cool surprise, because it's sort of like a myth at the same time. Like, damn, this sort of like if Bloodborne 2 came out or something, or like, what else? What other game would be like a game that just like surprised you? I'm trying to think.
And on the Switch?
No, like in general, like it's just a game that's been in development for a long time and we haven't seen it. Like,
oh,
I don't think I can know any other game, like Half-Life 3.
I'd have to think about it. Yeah, Half-Life 3 would be a great one.
Gears of War, I think, was one of them that just released. So like, oh shit. Or yeah, I don't know. There's this one other game that's been like in development for like a long time and we haven't seen. Kingdom Hearts 4 maybe, because I don't know, it's weird. So, but it was still cool to see this like in a direct. Like, it was like a cool like surprise. So like, it was a great way to cap off the direct, even though we're not huge Metroid Prime fanatics. So
yeah, you still got to respect the legacy and the fact that this is a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I still think it's definitely should have been the one last thing for sure.
You know, when I was looking at the trailers, the Zelda game has more views than the Metroid Prime 4 trailer. So
It doesn't surprise me. The Metroid series is not a very successful one. It's only popular really here in the States. And it's not very popular. It's not even very popular here in the States. So Japan really doesn't care about Metroid at all. And everybody loves Zelda. So it's not too shocking to hear that.
Just a little fun fact there. That was a direct. A lot of cool games in there and cool little surprises and announcements in there.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's rate this on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you rate it? And give me your reasoning. Let's start with you, Henry. What's up?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Let's see. So let's see. If we go back, I think I gave PlayStation a 7.
I think you gave it 6.5.
I think Cam gave it a 6. I think I gave it a 7. I honestly, I might knock it down to a 6.5.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's looking back, it's funny how hype does that to you. You're running on that new game adrenaline, and you're like, you're just happy to see anything, And I still think that I probably liked Sony's overall the most. It's just more games on that appealed to me. But we're focusing here on Nintendo. Let's talk about Nintendo. I'd say maybe that's tough. I'm somewhere between a 7.5 and an 8. There's a lot here. There's a lot that I don't care about, but I really do think that Nintendo dropped the biggest bombs here. The Legend of Zelda game, the Mario and Luigi game, and Metroid Prime 4 are all big bombs that I don't think anybody really saw coming, and I think that surprises are a big deal. They make these presentations so much more interesting and so much more fun, and I appreciated seeing all of those. And I think I probably fall on the 8 right now. Who knows? Maybe with time I'll drop it down to a 7.5, but I fall at an 8.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm sort of with you on that. I think I'll give it like an 8.1. I think.
Okay.
8.1, 8.2, maybe around there. It's, I don't know, because the PlayStation Showcase 6.5. Like, come on, this doesn't even compare to this. Like Direct. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in here, even though like some of it I haven't really been into. But we did see some cool stuff. But then you also have some crap like Formagia, Fairy Tail, and Just Dance and stuff like that, and Stray and all that stuff. But you also have some like cool games in here, like surprising announcements and stuff. Like it was cool to see the Dragon Quest remakes, to see them again. Mario and Luigi as a starter, Metroid, Ace Attorney. They had everything for everyone. Like even the Marvel vs. Capcom, the fighting fans probably love this Direct. Like they think it's the best thing ever. So right now 8.2. I'll give it 8.2 out of 10.
Okay, it's going up. The more we think about it, the more it's just going up.
Any more than that, no, I can't.
I get that as well, yeah. I probably wouldn't. Definitely, I don't think I'd give this an 8.5. I'm kind of looking at 0.5 increments, personally. But in honor of our fallen brethren, Cam, who could not be here today, let's continue his stud and dud segment. So what is your stud and your dud for the Direct?
So you want to start with the dud?
Yeah, let's start with your dud. What's your dud?
Yeah, so just looking at it, I think give me 1 second. The dud, okay. I have one, but it's kind of obvious, but I'll go with a different one. The dud is the what is this? Tales of the Shire. It's just a game that didn't interest me at all. I was just looking at it. It's like, oh man, like are we almost at the end of the Direct? Like, come on, like why are you showing this? It's just like I'm not interested in Hobbit at all. It's a farming game, so it's just like two things that I just can't like understand, and it was weird. So like I think it'll be that. Honestly, it will be Funko easily, but sorry, no.
I was about to say, like, the easy answer is Funko. Easy answer is Funko. It's just a soulless cash grab, horrible looking game. It's easy. But what's your stud?
My stud, it would have to be, I would say Dragon Quest the remakes because they look way better than I thought, and yeah,
Really? Wow.
and yeah, it's
Okay.
just the game that just fits well with the Switch, and it's also coming to the PS5, which I'll most likely get on there. And yeah, it just looks amazing. It's just like it just entices me to try out Dragon Quest remake, and just looking at it, just like, oh man, this game looks wonderful. Like I want to see what's the hype with Dragon Quest. So, um, yeah, it's that easily.
Yeah, if I was ever going to go back to the original Dragon Quest games, that looks like a
Yeah,
wonderful way to
easily.
do it. So I don't disagree. For my dud, I would say, honestly, yeah, Funko Pop is obviously the obvious one, but let's be a little bit more original. Obviously, can't do it all cliche here. I will go with Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sport. It already was like probably one of the it already looked like a soulless cash grab like game in the first place, and then you told me it was a game mill game, and I was like, okay, well, this is just the worst thing they showed at the entire conference then, just by the pedigree alone. So that would be my dud for sure. And then my stud, it's interesting looking through it, and even hearing you say, oh yeah, like Dragon Quest is what my stud is, it really shows off that even when you said like Tales of the Shire was your dud, I was like, well, that's probably somebody's probably really looking forward to
Never.
that game. I think so. I think that there's definitely there's obviously a huge market for cozy farming games because they make 5 million of them and show them all off at Nintendo Directs. But and there's also a huge Lord of the Rings fan base out there too.
Yeah.
So I think probably somebody out there really would like that. But I feel like this direct really does have something for everyone. There's just so much packed in here, and everything is pretty quality. Even though a lot of stuff is like a repeat or a lot of stuff is like casual fodder, it's still going to appeal to a lot of people. But for me, I'd say the game that I would probably be looking forward to playing the most and think I'd have the most fun with is Mario and
Oh,
Luigi.
nice. Cool.
Yeah, I think Mario and Luigi, because I just think those games normally have a lot of polish and personality to them. And I'm hoping that one does too. So probably Mario and Luigi is my stud.
Nice.
But that's all I got for that.
Surprised you picked the dud as the Looney Tunes because it's like a 50-50 where it could be the worst game on here or it could be like a surprise hit. So I guess you just didn't like how it played or how it looked or what was up with
it. It looked budget. Yeah, I thought it looked like I don't know how to describe it, but it just looked like somebody who was trying to make a basketball game that didn't really know how, and then they just slapped Looney Tunes in it. And that was the vibe I got. I don't know. I never had high hopes for it, but when you said Game Mill, that was enough to push
you
me over the
connected
edge
the
for
dots and stuff.
sure. Yes, absolutely.
All right.
But what did you think? What were your overall impressions of this Summer Games Fest / E3 time? What did you think overall about what we had going on?
I think it was actually solid. I think, well, in terms of the Xbox show, which was surprisingly all right, pretty good, and then the direct, pretty good. I mean, not too bad, not too good. The only downer was the PlayStation. Is like, what are you guys doing? Like, Astrobot was like your surprise game, that the one thing that is gonna get people to go out and buy PS5s and stuff. Like Xbox, you had Gears, a huge franchise. You also had other Xbox IPs in that showcase as well. Here you got like Metroid Prime, even though it's not as popular, but it's still a huge game that people are gonna be talking about. It's like, oh, that's a game that you should try out, or something like that. And then PlayStation just brings it down. And then Summer Games Fest, that was just like, what the hell was that? It was like a waste of time almost, because it's like there were some cool games in there, but it's just like we need that huge game, like that. Just
Yeah, you
you
gotta
gotta
have
have
it.
it. I mean, even though like there's some cool stuff at that Geoff Keighley show, there's just like you need that one banger at the end to like cap it off and stuff. So I think it was a solid, not the best of the summer events for this year, but because there've been some better years with the summer events were like way better and stuff like that. But solid. I mean, pretty good, but nothing too memorable. I think. So
Yeah, I kind of agree with that overall sentiment as well. It was good. I think it's good that we have, and I don't even know if we should still call it E3 time, but like that's like
Yeah,
just how everybody
everybody does that.
colloquially just refers to it. Yeah, so I'll just continue to do that moving forward because I have fond memories of E3 and I like continuing to refer to it as that, even though it's dead. But I think I think it's great that we still have a time like this where we all kind of get together and talk about the games that are being announced and speculate on what games can come out and be surprised by these announcements and look forward to what we have to play. And I think that these surprises and the expectations and the hype is really all fun. It's fun. It's our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And this year is, I'd say it was good. It was good, not great. It did a good job of. There were a lot of announcements. I don't think that there were a lot of big, heavy hitting announcements, but there were a lot of announcements. I think everybody came out of this E3 with something that they want to play, something that they're looking forward to. And I think that shows a lot to how diverse our industry is now and how everybody's being catered to. And I think that's great. I think, yeah, Sony, I really don't think Sony had the weakest showing. I think Summer Games Fest did. Personally,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Second thought.
Again, I still think that like Sony, it gets knocked down. It definitely gets knocked down because it didn't have any big announcements, but it did have games that I personally was looking to play. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to make a showcase good to me, is if there's games that I want to play there. I mean, like that. Unfortunately, it's biased, but that's just the way it is. I think everybody's probably had that. That's how it is. And it's very funny because I heard people talking over the past couple of weeks kind of comparing conferences, and I heard some people say like they hated the Microsoft conference. And I was like, what the heck? Like I thought this was an unequivocal like slam dunk. Like everybody loved the Microsoft conference, but like no, like it was because they didn't care about any of the games that they announced. They weren't appealing to them.
Interesting.
And I think the Microsoft conference appealed much more to like a hardcore demographic of gamers.
Right.
And like if you're not into those kind of games, yeah, you probably wouldn't care about a lot of what Microsoft had to say. And I think that something like Sony appealed to somebody like me a little bit more in my sensibilities, and I think like Summer Games Fest and Nintendo had a little bit more of a wide-ranging appeal. And I think that that's okay. I still think that I ended up liking Microsoft's conference the best. Some people are saying it's like the best conference that's ever happened, or like one of them. I don't think that it's that good, but like, hey, to each their own. Again, maybe all those announcements that were in those conferences really added up to being the best for them, but not for me. But at the end of the day, I think we have a lot of really great games on the horizon, and I think that's what's cool and what's fun to look forward to. So I'm pretty happy with this overall.
Yeah. I'm just more excited about like the future games, like because the games are taking forever to make. I think maybe next year might be good, because there's a lot of games coming out next year, but I don't know if they will be at the events and showcases, because next year is stacked. You got like Monster Hunter. Yeah.
Last year was stacked. This year is stacked. Next year is gonna be stacked. I think we're just in for the long haul of too many good games. It's we're gonna have to pick and choose.
Like, damn, just thinking about next year, like we could do like a whole episode of games we're anticipating for like next year. I think that'd be cool.
100%.
Cool.
Maybe so. Yeah, I think like at the end of the year, probably.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like a preview show or something like that. I think that's always fun.
Because then the Game Awards will happen like in December, so then it's like, boom, there's like an episode right there.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so that's our wrap up on the events that happened this summer between all the competitors. So that's it for the news and everything. So it's like pretty cool, pretty chill week. Now let's get into what we've been playing. I mean, we got some cool games right here, honestly. I'll start with mine. So I've been really quick on Persona 3 Reload. This game is long, but it's not Persona 5. It's not Persona 5 Royal long. Like I think I'm near the end of this game, but I think I added like an extra like 10 hours to this game by raising the difficulty. So I remember last time I mentioned that I lowered to normal. So now like Tartarus is like easy to navigate and stuff. It's like way better. Because on hard it's just like it's annoying because you got to do more damage. There's more extra turns you have to account for and stuff like that. So I'm playing on normal, which is fine. Um, I I know you have your qualms about the Persona turn base, like how the game plays, like where it's sort of like rock paper scissors. But I find it addicting at the same time and stimulating. So like I have no problem with it, even though
It makes it quick and
yeah,
easy. I can see why somebody
I
would
mean
like it
yeah, it is
for
like
sure.
it is repetitive at the same time, and that's what Persona 5 Royal did good is like they added some new stuff and like they changed how it plays out. You have like your team up attacks, your one more baton pass and stuff like that. Here it's like they got the theurgies and stuff. They also have the baton pass, like the five and stuff. But yeah, it's like, I think overall, I'm almost done. I'm in December. I'm in like the second week of December. Um, so like I'm like really close to the end, and like, you already finished it, right? So
Yeah. I think you have like 2 months
yeah,
left.
so they're about to make a huge decision like at the end of the month. So I'm waiting
Yeah.
for that point and see what happens after that cuz I'm just waiting for the final boss cuz I'm already like on floor 205 on Tartarus. So like I'm close to it. So far so good. So if you're a Persona fan, please try this game out. Like it's so good. Like like if you want to try like a Persona game for the first time, I think this will be good, like because it's not as long as 5 Royal, which is like almost like a long, like you're in there for the long haul, like especially that beginning part in 5. It's just like it's almost like a tutorial for like 6 hours straight. Which I didn't mind at all because I was enjoying 5 for like a long time. Like I was enjoying everything about that game.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it too. And I played it for 120 hours. And that was
Yeah.
before Royal. That was the
Oh
base
damn,
game.
did you play Royal?
No, because I was like, I'm
Oh
not spending
my.
120 plus hours doing the whole thing again.
Yeah.
So I was, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
that
doing that
fucking
again.
sucks. Like you can't transfer your things over and stuff.
Nah, you got to buy a whole new
Fuck
game,
that.
man. That's how
I
you make
can't
your
even
money.
imagine doing that again. Like if I played 5 again and had to play Royal, cause man, Royal is like I like after like playing like 5 Royal and there's like a lot of new stuff added. It's like I can't believe like the base game exists. Like like it makes like Royal like a 10 out of 10 compared to like 5, which is like I think like a 9 out of 10 in my eyes. So like
Yeah, it doesn't
yeah.
surprise me. I've seen some of the stuff. I didn't even know they added that
Yeah.
much because, like, I was going off of Persona 4 Golden because I played Persona 4 Golden before I played the original, and they just added. That was just like they added like like an extra 3 months to
Mhm.
the game, like basically a final
Yeah.
dungeon, and to wrap up everything. And like in Royal, they added like all sorts of stuff. Like it's not even
Uh,
comparable. It's a lot. It's totally. It makes me really sad that I didn't just wait for Royal,
yeah.
but it is what it is.
Yeah, that sucks for those people, man. Because the royal part is so good. It's like it elevates it to like another level. Like I can't imagine Persona 5 without that content in there. So yeah, Persona 3 Reload, banger OST, fun gameplay, good characters, a lot of dialogue. So try it out, man. Like I think it's good for your first time, and the story is interesting as well because it deals with like life and like your mortality and stuff like that. So it's like interesting premise that maybe some can relate to. So give it a shot. I mean, you can get it for cheap too. I think nowadays you can get it for like 35 bucks, 40, or you can wait till like this winter or Black Friday, get it for cheaper, maybe for 20, 30 bucks. So yo,
Or play it on
yeah, I was
Game
about to
Pass.
mention that. Yeah, Game Pass. So, yeah, there you go. I just want to add that real quick because I'm still on it because it's a fucking long game. Um,
Yeah, super long.
yeah.
Super long.
Uh, then I wanted to talk about this because I was getting some Persona fatigue. So I wanted to. I was like, fuck it, let's play some Kingdom Hearts. So like another like story heavy game. I was like, whatever. It's just Kingdom Hearts. This is a PS2 game, so it's probably not that heavy into the story. But there's a lot going on in this. So it's called Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Final Mix, right?
Yep.
This is like, I was confused. Is this like
Yeah, welcome to Kingdom Hearts.
name-
Yeah, you're just confused by the title. Yeah,
Yeah, I was just like,
exactly.
huh, okay. Yeah, so I played like an hour of this like last year, and I didn't know what I was doing because I was like on Destiny Island, and I didn't know what to do.
Yep.
So when I was playing it, I walked around the island for like 20, 30 minutes. I was like, what the fuck do I do? And then I just said, fuck it. I just Googled online, and you had to get some items for the raft to leave the island, and got those
Correct.
quick, and then boom, I'm already straight into the story. And I was in Traverse Town, which is the first world that you go to. There you get your keyblade and stuff like that. Like, oh shit, the plot's moving.
You meet Donald and Goofy.
I love them as
Yeah.
teammates already. Like, I already met them, and I'm like, yeah, these are fucking cool teammates. I'm like, hell yeah.
They're
Yeah,
your boys,
yeah, the boys,
dude.
yeah. I fucking love them already. And it's funny when they're attacking a battle, like you hear Donald Duck with his like fucking lisp, and then Goofy and stuff. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh, this is fucking funny. Yeah, and there's Final Fantasy characters. But there's like Squall, Aerith, and Yuffie, and Sid in there. And you have Moogles and stuff like that. So it's like a fucking crossover. So like, what you're talking about?
You mean Leon?
Oh my, dude, they mentioned. So it's funny because they mentioned Leon. I'm like, huh. And then somebody mentioned Squall in the game, and then yeah, he's like, that's not my name. My name is Leon. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
yeah.
But he would always be Squall to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was my first introduction to the character as a kid.
Ooh.
So I didn't know any better. I was just like, Leon, that sounds cool. He's got a gun blade. He's the coolest character in this game.
It's funny hearing him talk because I played 8 and I finished it, and like there's no voice acting in that game. So it's funny to see him talk. So yeah, so far so good. Right now I'm in Alice in Wonderland. So
Okay, so you've made more progress than I thought you would have. Yeah, you're still very early. You're still very, very early. But yeah, I'm interested to see what you think of it, because like this game has like the thing about Kingdom Hearts is it has like moments that are super story focused. Like it has like worlds that are basically like you don't have any actual story happen for like a long period of time, and like all you do is just interact with like Disney people, and then you like all of a sudden it just hits you over the head with like, okay, well here's 2 hours of exposition, and you're like, oh frick, the
Really?
story's back.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like especially Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 is like known for that. Like halfway through the game you just like take like a 5-hour break and just like do nothing but not Disney stuff. But like I'm interested to see what you think about the story, because that's I think the most contentious point of this entire package of the franchise as a whole. But what do you think about combat? I'm interested to hear what you think about combat, actually.
the combat is cool. It's weird because this is like action based, but then you also have your magic, and then you're just attacking. So I'm like in the beginning, so it's basic. So that I only have like blizzard and fire as my magic, and then I have my keyblade, and I can dodge and roll and stuff like that. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if it evolves over time. So it's just basic. I mean, I have no problems with it. It's fun. That's all I say.
Kingdom Hearts 1, it doesn't really evolve. 2, it gets kind of crazy in 2, I think. Not crazy, but like it a lot more visually stimulating for sure. I'm interested to hear what you think about Donald and Goofy later in the game.
I mean, I like them a lot right now already, because it's funny having them as your teammates. It's like they're fighting with you. Like, what?
Weird. Yeah, exactly, right? It's like you don't expect Donald and Goofy to start beating the frick out of stuff, like, you know, and like there they are alongside you, just beating the frick out of like other Disney worlds. It's just this weird mashup that just doesn't make any sense, and it's interesting at the very least. But like the reason I say that is not like I don't think you're gonna hate Donald and Goofy because they're just mean or something, but like I think you'll have it's a long running joke in the series, the franchise, that Kingdom Hearts 1 there is a clear favorite party member and a clear party member that nobody likes. So I'll let you decide which one that is, but I think you'll learn later in the game who it is. But I'll leave that up to you. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of it, though. I'm interested to hear what you think later on.
I do plan on playing it more because I'm almost done with Persona 3. So like I'm a full steam ahead into this one. So yeah, I'm interested to see the different Disney worlds and how they interact and stuff. Because it's cool.
Yeah, if you seem like you like a lot of JRPGs, like Final Fantasy, we talk about all the time, and this is obviously a lot of that tied into Final Fantasy. So I think this is probably going to be right up your alley.
Because I like Disney too. Because
But I'm
I used
interested.
to I've watched like a lot of Disney movies growing up, so it's like I have a connection with that.
Sure, sure. Who
Yeah.
didn't? Right. That's
There
the
were
same
some
with
people
me.
that said that
So
they never watch Disney and like they don't get it or something, that they hate it. I'm like, huh, interesting.
yeah, I've never heard of that. I don't know what you watch if you didn't watch Disney as a kid.
Yeah.
Honestly,
But
you
they were
know?
like talking about like how
Yeah.
they don't want Disney and Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, nah, because like I think that's like part of the appeal of Kingdom Hearts, like Disney.
That is literally half of
Yeah,
Kingdom
it's
Hearts,
just like,
if not all of it at this point.
yep. So yeah, can't wait to play more of Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Final Mix, and I wonder how the I had to play like in chronological order, so like I had to look up like when the games came out and play them in order when they in the release it came out. So might be a little challenge there, but it's fine. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. So a lot of JRPGs on my plate right now. Let's get into your list. I don't know which one you want to start with.
I'm going to start with the short one first. And by that I mean very, very short. I played Alan Wake 2's DLC that was announced at the Game
Nice.
Awards. I keep saying Game Awards. Summer Games Fest. Night Springs. I say super, super short because this DLC takes a total of like 2.5 hours if you're like taking your time. So I beat it in an evening. It was very short, but Alan Wake 2 was my third favorite game of last year. First being Baldur's Gate and second being Tears of the Kingdom. And Alan Wake 2 snuck up and really took me by surprise. I really didn't have a huge affinity for even Remedy games overall, but I really enjoyed Alan Wake 2 a whole lot. And when they announced that DLC, it looked super fun, super funny, and Alan Wake 2 has a weird sense of humor. It is overall like a horror survival game, quote unquote, but it definitely does have like an interesting sense of humor to it too. And Night Springs leans into that like super duper hard. There's three chapters, and you play as like a different character in each chapter. One is like a side character in the main game. One is a character from another Remedy game called Control, and one is another side character that is played by an actual actor. If you, the only thing I don't watch that many movies. If Cam was here, he probably could tell me a lot. But like Iceman from the original live-action X-Men movies. He was also like the protagonist in their game Quantum Break. So you play as him. He's a character in Alan Wake 2, and you play as him as the third character. And his chapter was honestly my favorite by like a long shot. It was super meta, and a lot of Alan Wake 2 is meta, but like that chapter was even more meta. It's funny, it's interesting. And I don't want to go into any more of it without like spoiling it, because like it's that fun to just go through, and I just had a smile on my face the entire time. Anybody who's a fan of this game easily should check it out. Like it's a way more comedic version of what you're probably, if you like the writing, if you like the subject matter of Alan Wake, you'll really, really like it. So that's really all I really wanted to get into on that. It doesn't really do anything else to really surprise other than its narrative elements, like no gameplay or anything like that. It's really just a fun writing excursion for them, which I really enjoyed.
Nice.
The other game, or what? Did you have anything to say about that,
Yeah.
Alexis? I guess I cut you off.
I remember seeing the trailers and stuff, and you were mentioning the Control main character, because I'm like, oh, that's from Control. I don't know her name, but it's sort of like the Remedy verse. It's so weird because like, these games are like, I feel like you had to play them to appreciate them later on. Sort of like,
they're very much going for a Marvel-esque kind of deal,
exactly.
where like you have to play everything in order to really fully appreciate everything. I would say that you don't need to do that for this DLC at all. It's nice, I guess. I've played Control, and I've played Quantum Break as well. Quantum Break really isn't being pulled from it all here. But Control certainly is. But the coolest thing about Control is you have like superpowers and stuff, and you don't even get to use them in this DLC. So if you were anticipating doing that, it is what it is. But yeah, I think Remedy's doubling down with like, this is the Remedy verse. So I guess if you want to continue, if you want to enjoy their games, go back and replay them all.
Because I have Alan Wake 1 and Control. I just don't have Quantum Break, so that kind of sucks, but it's fine.
Like I said, I don't think they're pulling from
Yeah.
Quantum Break. I think Microsoft owns it, so they can't do much with it anymore. So they're kind of trying to incorporate that guy as like another character within their universe. So
Yeah, that's true. Isn't there another DLC coming out for Alan Wake 2? Okay.
yeah, there's another
you-
one too. So I'm looking forward to that one as
Gotcha.
well.
I forgot the name of it. But yeah, that's cool. It's nice to see Alan Wake 2 to like, and it's also getting a physical as well. So it's just like pretty cool to see Alan Wake on the rise this time. So nice overview from you.
Happy to do it. And the other game that I've been playing is a lot more beefy of a subject matter because it's a lot older, but it's also new because it's Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door HD remake. I never played the original when it came out on the GameCube. I didn't have a GameCube as a kid, and I hear a lot of people talk about it, and they all say, "Oh, this is one of the all-time greats. This is one of the best RPGs ever made." And this kind of spawned a massive, really, I guess Super Mario RPG spawned the Paper Mario series, but there was a big Paper Mario franchise that was spawned from this game. And I was very interested to go back to it. This has honestly been a game that's been on my backlog for a really long time, and I finally had the excuse to go back to it because of the HD remake. The thing about this HD remake is they didn't really do much. The only thing that really they upgraded were the textures. Obviously, it's the HD. Everything doesn't look blocky as it would on a standard definition console, and the soundtrack got redone, which is nice. But like, it's not really warranting a full purchase of this game. If it wasn't for the fact that I don't own the game already, I would probably not recommend buying this game for any kind of upgrades. That being said, people still consider it a quality game overall, so maybe you'd like it there. But
Oh man,
it's known for being. I'm sorry, did you
I
have
thought you
something
were
to say
ready
on
to
that?
drop the bombshell that you don't like this game.
Am I that predictable?
All right, go ahead.
No, I'm not going to drop that bombshell. However, I will drop a different bombshell.
Oh, man.
I will drop the bombshell that I don't think this game deserves to be in the category of like, this is one of the greatest RPGs ever. I think like when people say this is an all-time classic, I think that is horrifically hyperbolic and has to be steeped in nostalgia at this point. I still think this game is very good. And let me tell you why. So, every Nintendo game is filled with a lot of charm and a lot of soul and a lot of spit and polish. And this game is absolutely no different. I think its writing is easily one of the standout things in this game. The writing here is funny, it's witty, it's snappy, in a way that you really never see in any kind of text-based RPG or story or anything like that. I never was necessarily laughing at anything that was in this game, but I would chuckle. I would smirk a little bit at at the jokes that were being made, and they're made all the time. There's a lot of little nuances to this game, a lot of little secrets to find if you're looking, which is fun. And the combat, I think, is a huge defining factor here. So, again, I'd have to check the timeline on who did it first. But this was one of the first Nintendo RPGs that tried to have real-time combat or real-time interactivity in their combat.
Yeah.
So, if you don't know, you can, when you attack somebody, you can press a button at the right time and you can do extra damage. Or when an enemy is attacking you, you can press a button at the right time, and you can reduce the damage taken.
You can parry as well.
You can parry as well. If with even like tighter timing, you can like negate damage or even do damage to an opponent when they attack you. And there are even some special moves that like you kind of have to play like a little mini game when you're attacking or doing a certain kind of tactic of some kind. I think that this was Nintendo's way of trying to make turn-based combat funner, more interactive, more enjoyable, more involved. And I think that it works. It works. It's fun until you get to a point where like you're going through trash mobs and you have mastered the timing for these things. And in a regular RPG, you can just mash A and you can just auto attack basically to kill a mob and just continue. But with Paper Mario, I would be trying to just go from point A to point B, backtracking through an area and trying to avoid enemies, and an enemy would hit me and I would have to fight it, and I would have to stop and pay attention and make sure that I got my timing right for the 1,500th time by fighting this trash mob. And I don't think that it's very conducive to that. Later in the game, you actually can have the ability to buy a power-up that you can just automatically kill any enemy that's like too far of a level below you, but that was pretty late in the game that I was given that ability, or at least that I found that ability. And even then, like there were a lot of times where I just kind of wanted to speed through combat because like this combat is good, and I even think that they do a really good job of trying to shake it up. They constantly are giving you like a new party member that has like new moves that you can try to master, and items are a surprisingly like involved resource in this game. Dealing like some enemies can't be hurt unless you deal damage to them via items. So like you need to incorporate items into your battle at some point. And then there's like super moves as well, and like those are constantly being built up, and you can use those throughout battle as well. There's a lot of variety in combat, but even with that variety, I still think towards the latter quarter of the game, I think it's very difficult for me to not see people getting bored or tired, because at that point they've run out of new tricks to throw at you, and you're kind of getting fed up with it, or you're getting familiar with it at least. I will say that what really made this game go for me is the scenarios that you go through. Like you are constantly moving to something new and interesting, whether every chapter is like not only different from the previous or the next, but it's also like fun and like entertaining. Like I genuinely was interested with some of the scenarios and the stories within the chapters. They're kind of like episodes almost. Yeah. So like a few that really stood out to me that I loved was like fighting my way through a corrupt wrestling conspiracy ring, and and finding a lost ghost pirate's treasure, and getting your body back from a shape-shifting ghost's curse. Like these are wildly diverse and interesting. It keeps the story moving. I won't say the overall story is very interesting at all. It's pretty bog standard. Collect these items and beat the baddie. But it is like the individual things that you're doing from chapter to chapter are genuinely fun and interesting. And coupled with the writing, like you're really playing this game for the scenarios. Like I don't think you're ultimately going to end up loving this game for the combat. I don't think you're going to love this game for the story, but you will love this game for constantly giving you something interesting happening. And I can only see that being a drawback if you don't like reading a lot. If you don't like, the wordiness of this game, that's like the only big drawback. Alexis, I've kind of left you out of this conversation. Yeah. It sounds like you've played. Okay. That's a good podcast host for you. It sounds like you've played this game and you have opinions. So I am interested. Please, let me hear you out.
I know you were talking a lot of crap about it, but you do have some valid points on like certain points at that game. But to me, I think this is like a top 5 game of all time for me because I played it like as a kid.
Okay.
Or yeah, on the GameCube, and it was like one of like the first JRPGs I probably played, or a turn-based game that I played for the first time. And it was hard to find a game just like Paper Mario. Like
I don't
yeah,
doubt it.
just it was like back then I had like no internet and stuff like that. So like all I had to do was like go to like Hollywood Video and just rent a game or something. Yeah, stuff like that.
Sure.
And so yeah, this game holds like a special place in my heart. And like I know like the game like inside out. Like I just know so much of it. Which is why I haven't played the remake yet, because my brother has it, but he has the Switch right now and he's playing it right now because he was excited for it, because we played it a lot as a kid. So onto the game, right? Looking back on it, there are some negatives, like thinking about it now. Like you don't really think of as a kid, right? Because you're talking about like random encounters and like trash mobs. It is annoying to get into a battle and just like had to fight these guys or just run away. And like the runaway mechanic is annoying because you have to like time it or whatever.
It's almost
Yeah,
random.
It's annoying.
A lot of times you can't even run away, even if you do very well on the mini game for it.
And that's why they had like a Yoshi to like speed past them all. Like at some like point you get a Yoshi and you can run past all those enemies, but sometimes you don't. And then you have those annoying random encounters. And even as a kid, those were annoying. Because I know in chapter 4, where you're in the woods and stuff, I don't know if they changed it, but I remember having to backtrack like a lot of times in those woods.
You do. You still do.
That's annoying. So I could see some people having problems with that. Because I remember that being a problem. Like, damn, bro. I was like, this is annoying. I have to go back and stuff. And some of the enemies, like, there are some enemies that can do some damage to you or kill you, like, unexpectedly. And same, like, you have to use certain items and stuff like that. Or, like, some enemies have, like, special defense and stuff. Like, you can't damage them and stuff. So it's kind of annoying. But then, is it wordy? I think, yeah, at certain points there are, like, I know there's, like, some, like, story beats that you have to go through. And, like, what were the parts that you said were, like, wordy? Like, do you remember? Or
I just think generally overall, yeah. I mean, like, there's definitely parts where you just kind of sit and have to read text for a while. I'm not going to say it's, like, a lot, but, like, I think that they clearly understood that one of the strong suits of this game was the writing and how much character and you know, charm is in it, and they tried to put that on you a lot. I mean, I know like Peach segments you're reading a lot, Bowser segments you're reading a lot. I mean, like those segments are pretty much you're not doing much else other than talking a lot of the time. Not all, but you know, I'm not going to say that it's not Kingdom Hearts 2 levels of exposition that I was just talking about, but there's just a lot of talking in general.
And it's like a Mario game where sometimes you don't really need that because you're just in it for like the vibes and stuff. You're there to have fun.
100%.
So I do get you. Yeah. It's a little annoying, and like the story is not that complicated, so it's just like there's like annoying dialogue. So I do wonder like how it would play like right now if I were to like play it right now, because Persona 3, I forgot to mention this, like it also has a lot of unnecessary dialogue, and it's annoying to have to click through and stuff.
I won't lie, you're right.
It's a bit annoying. Right. Like after a bit, I'm like, okay, so I be using the fast forward on Persona during like the school segments or whenever like during certain social links that don't have like special dialogue. So like there's a lot of things like that. So I don't know if Paper Mario doesn't have that, right? You can't skip through certain points through certain dialogue, right? Okay, so it's just like I think as a kid you appreciate it more because it's your first time, but it's weird because I have also heard the same complaint of like yours on other podcasts. They had like the same issues where like there's a lot of dialogue for no reason, and that's weird because I never thought of that. Like that wasn't really a complaint that I remember, but thinking back on it, yeah, there was. Like there's a lot, especially like when you're talking to Luigi and stuff.
I think that's the joke though. Is Luigi is like talking too much and nobody likes it, and like he's a loser. And like I think that's the joke. But yeah, I stopped talking to Luigi after I think the second time I talked to him, because I was like, I don't have the time for this. Like it's not interesting enough. I get it. The joke is he's annoying and he's droning on, and I don't need that. Yeah. I don't need that in my life. No. But it sounds like you've agreed with a lot of my points though. but you disagreed with my overall take. Am I
Yeah,
incorrect?
because I think the story is just like charming and just like amazing. Like to me,
I would agree with that.
like
I would agree with
there's
that.
like certain points in the story just like good as fuck. It's like, oh man, it's so good. Like, because what chapter are you in right now? Or okay,
I
you
finished
finished. I
it.
don't know why I forgot that, but um, I'm trying to remember. Like, there's a certain point in the game that's kind of annoying. I think it must have been the bomb at the end where you have to go to the moon. Um,
Yeah, a lot of people
ah
hate that
man,
because you have to backtrack to every single
yeah.
area, and you don't know exactly who the heck you're supposed to talk to at some areas. It was frustrating. I looked it up. I was just like, where do I go? When do I go
Yeah,
there?
I was
Tell
stuck on
me.
that for
And
weeks when I
it
was a kid because I didn't really have anything, so I was just like talking to everybody.
you'd have
Yeah.
to absolutely, and that's why I think a lot of people look back on that with a lot
Hmm.
of disdain, understandably so. But to me, that took me like 15
Yeah.
minutes. I just point bump bump. Used the fast travel system and knocked it
Mm.
out. But I mean, it sounds like you don't really disagree. Then
Not really.
it sounds like you agree overall with my sentiment, and I still think that this game is good. Um, I I teeter on great, but it's the problem is it's hard for me to give this game greatness when I really feel like the thing that I cared about the most was just the scenarios that I was
Hmm.
involved in. And I'm like, well, what would I prefer this to be like a TV show or something?
Oh,
Like
it
I don't
would,
know.
honestly.
Like it almost yeah, I think it would be a great TV show. But like I think the gameplay kind of pulls it down a little bit.
The turn-based?
I still think turn-based, yeah, and the fact that specifically that it gets repetitive over time. That's what really killed me. And the fact that you have to be involved even in battles that are horrifically inconsequential. In JRPGs you're used to, like I said, mashing just the A button to get through, but you cannot do that
Hmm.
here. So because you either won't do any damage and you'll prolong the battle, or you'll take more damage and you'll die, eventually at least. So I still would give this game easy 8.5. Like it's still a great
Hmm.
game, like good
Yeah.
borderline great. But like this game reviewed better than the original did. The remake reviewed better than the original did,
Really.
and I think that this is a perfect conversation for us to have, because I look at this as, and this is something that I think a lot of Nintendo games, I'm not going to say I have a problem with, but I see a lot in the conversation surrounding Nintendo games, is a lot of Nintendo games are for all audiences, and all audiences includes kids. And a lot of people get attached to these games when they're younger, and nostalgia just
Yeah.
grabs them. And like they become very defensive of them. You have not been very defensive of this one for being like a top 5 childhood classic of yours, which I really
Yeah.
respect, because like I see a lot of people who are like, will die on the hill that Ocarina of Time is the best game ever
Ever.
made, and there will never be a game better than
I hate
Ocarina of
those
Time. And I'm
people.
like, you objectively are incorrect. Like there's just no way you can be right there. And the reason they say that is because that was the first Zelda game they ever played. And that's what made them fall in love with Zelda. And that's the game that they played for hours and hours and hours, with a friend or with their brother and sister over Christmas or whatever the heck it was. And I think it's something that we should be able to look past
Hmm.
that and say, okay, cool, it was your favorite as a kid, but is it actually the greatest game of all time? Like, I don't know. That seems a little over the top. And I think that when we're reviewing a game as a critic, and you're reviewing it higher than you did the original got reviewed, I think that that's a nostalgic connection
Hmm.
for sure that makes those reviews higher. But I don't. You tell me if I'm wrong here. Tell me if I'm spitting facts or
Yeah,
no.
because like the reviews on older games were higher. I think it's because the competition was low. So there wasn't many games that innovated like those games. Like Ocarina of Time is like one of the highest rated games. But like you also have like even like when if Ocarina of Time was supposed to come out like now, it would probably score lower and people would have more problems with it because Other games just improve upon it, and that's the issue that I wish, or that I think people are having with this, is that with this remake for Paper Mario's, is that they didn't do any quality of life changes. Not that many. Like,
Yeah.
you would think they would cut down on dialogue. Like, I didn't realize that was a problem until people brought it up. I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see that. Or
I didn't even know that people had that problem. I
oh,
genuinely have never heard anybody tell me why they love this game or why they hate it. I've never
yeah.
heard that. I don't hear many people talk about it other than just say it's one of the greatest of all time. So I'm surprised people. There's no way they would take away the dialogue, because I think that's one of the good the bullet points that makes this game good. So I don't know. Continue on.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry to
fine.
interrupt.
That or the random encounters were just like, at some point it gets annoying. Like, they should have like a cooldown, or like not that many enemies when you return back, or stuff like that, because there is backtracking. That I think backtracking was like the main problem. A lot of Paper Mario fans of this game agreed with, and then like I'm trying to think, like
Yeah, it's interesting because I did not really run into a lot of backtracking. There is some, but like people made it sound like this game was going to have so much backtracking I was going to hate it, and I really didn't hit that personally. There's a little bit in a couple of chapters.
Chapter 4 was
but
terrible.
overall,
I think,
and
about it. It was so, yes,
the forest,
it was so bad. Like, I remember, like, so bad. Like, you had to do it a couple times and stuff, and like, yeah, it was like this whole thing with that.
Yeah, that was probably. I think that was the worst one. That's really the only one that comes to mind though for me. Was that one, and then like obviously the bomb one, where you have to go back through all the areas. But even then, you know, I because those were the only two times they made me do it, I wasn't that upset. So again, I don't know. That's a weird disconnect for me personally, but maybe that's just me. I don't know.
It's crazy. They charged $60 for this remake, and I guess it's almost like a fucking port almost.
Welcome to Nintendo.
And it's 30 FPS. The
Yeah.
GameCube was 60 FPS.
Was 60.
Okay,
yeah.
That's crazy, because I remember as a kid the game looking like amazing. I'm like, this game looks amazing. It's like nothing comes close to it. Even now, it still looks good.
Yeah, that was a big hoopla too. We can talk about that briefly. People freaked out that this game is now 30 frames and it was 60 on the GameCube, which is admittedly odd. I'm sure there's some reasoning behind that, but like I'm not a big frame FPS snob, so I didn't really notice it or mind it. And once you get used to the timing of the moves, it really doesn't even matter. This game is not trying to be some graphical powerhouse that reaction time is like a big deal. So this isn't Call of Duty. Right. You know, you're not in a competitive multiplayer match, so it's not that big of a deal. So people just like to freak out about that stuff. I think if anything, the price is the biggest question mark for me. This did not need to be, but like everything Nintendo's going to put out is going to be a full price game. So it's just kind of the world you live in with Nintendo. You just have to accept it.
I don't think it even sold as good as Mario RPG. I don't think.
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if you're right. I feel like more people were excited about. I feel like I heard way more people talking about the original Mario RPG being re-released than I have heard people talk about Thousand Year Door, which is odd because I don't hear people talk about Super Mario RPG being the big, standout game from the Mario RPG series. It's this one. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with that, but I'm sure it's still sold bukus. It's a Nintendo game. But if it sold better, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Is that all your thoughts on Thousand Year Door?
That is everything. Thank you for hearing me out and letting me trash one of your favorite games.
I mean, it doesn't come with its faults, right? And
no, I'm kidding. And like I said, it's not bad. It's not bad. I think this is a good game. I enjoyed it. There were only a few times that I was like, okay, let's keep moving. But like the game, every time that it hit me with a point where I was like, okay, I'm ready to move on, it would throw something completely new at me. It would give me a new move. It would give me a new party member. It would, I would go to a new place. I would meet a new character. And it constantly gave me something cool or interesting to keep me going. So overall, I think this game is still good, and I think it's easy for me to understand somebody who has a nostalgic connection to this game saying it's one of the best games they've ever played. No doubt. No doubt.
It's still interesting to see how people are reacting to it like nowadays, because like, man, like back then, like even like when you look at GameCube videos of Paper Mario, you just see people loving that game, and then now there's criticism and shit. It's like, oh, whoa. So interesting perspectives from you. So after this, because you also did the DLC for Alan Wake 2, what's the next game on your list that you think you're gonna be trying out?
Well, do we want to spoil it? I am going to be trying out Eternites.
Oh.
I'm about a quarter of the way through Eternites. Okay. It's crazy that you just said, oh, because I thought that was going to be a game that nobody on this podcast had heard of.
Yeah.
Because I don't hear anybody talking about that game. But I am in the process of playing Eternites right now. But I didn't want to overload this podcast, so I didn't want to. I had 2 that I already finished, so I was just going to talk about those.
Yeah, save it for next week. I'm interested to hear about that, because I see a lot about that game, because it's sort of like Persona, but action.
It is very,
It was
very
inspired
Persona.
by, I think I remember hearing about the creator of it. So
Heavily, no doubt.
all right, so that's what we've been playing. Unfortunately, Cam wasn't here to give us his thoughts on what he'd been playing. He's probably playing more Rebirth, so it'll be cool to see what his thoughts were if he progressed more onto it. But
Godspeed, Cam. Godspeed.
Yeah, get well in the hospital.
I hope you survive to the next podcast. Cam.
We got another co-host ready to take your spot, so
get
well soon. Take the multivitamins.
Cam
Exactly.
2.0, new and improved. We have rebuilt him.
All right, so that's it for this episode of the Plug and Play podcast. Thank you everybody for listening to this episode. Make sure you give us a rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Closing thoughts, Henry? Anything?
Yes, actually. I wanted to announce this when Cam was on the podcast, but we are currently the longest running and highest rated podcast called the Plug and Play Podcast. We have superseded the previous Plug and Play podcasts of yore. So thank you to all out there who and us, I guess, for lasting this long. So we are the definitive Plug and Play podcast. So thank you to all who listen, and don't forget to send us feedback on the Plug and Play podcast email at plug1@gmail.com, where we will read your question out and answer it on the show.
It's awesome. We're other Plug and Plays, step it up, because we're taking the top spot, and at that point it's like we're gonna have no competition. It can be kind of boring, so step it up.
Very true. We are the number one.
Step it up. So, and my closing thoughts, I can't wait to dive more into Kingdom Hearts. I'm interested to see the different Disney worlds, and hopefully I can finish Persona 3 by the next time the next show comes around. I think I will. And I'm excited to see how it ends. Because the Persona games, their endings are very long, and they're interesting. So
yeah. You need to set aside about 2 or 3 hours of your night for the ending. Yeah, I can confirm that.
I remember with 5 Royal, like I finished the last boss, and there's there's an extra 2 months after the boss that you have to go through, but it skips past week by week and stuff. So
yeah.
I remember hearing damn, this is never gonna end, huh? And so I don't know if it'll happen to here, but we'll see. I've been going to the gym as well, so getting them gains and stuff.
Getting swole. We're no longer a video game podcast. We're a personal fitness podcast. We're gonna be talking about bench press and squats.
Hell yeah!
From here on out.
Leg day and them squats, man, they're tough. So
I hate leg day, man. I have to do it. And
it sucks too, because the weights is on the second floor, so to leave the gym I have to go walk down the flight of stairs. So it's
They did that. They did that on purpose.
And there's an elevator too, but I don't like
They
taking
definitely
it
did that
because
on
I don't want
purpose.
to risk my life. There's a chance I die in that elevator. So
You're one of those. Just don't jump. You won't be able to jump after doing
There's-
squats.
yeah,
You'll
No, I
be
mean,
fine.
I've seen some videos of people getting, brutally murdered in the elevator. And
What is this podcast anymore? What are we
I don't
doing?
know. So whatever. Let's just end the show. So appreciate everybody listening. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Yeah, this is what happens when we lose Cam. Bye.